She was originally the strongest princess of the 9 provinces. One day, she transmigrated and was pressed down by a shadow guard. In the instant of her eyes meeting his, she slapped him, knocking the young man to the ground. Then, in the shortest time possible, she saw the life of the original owner. This body is Chu Qingwang, the protector princess of Western Qi. Ranked high, but her beauty is unparalleled. Extraordinary talent, but a violent temperament. Started learning martial arts at 3. At 13, she defeated top experts from the Dark Pavilion. The only one she couldn't defeat was Shadow Fu Ba. Therefore, she tortured Fu Ba in every way possible, causing his life to end at the age of 17. Chu Qingwang looked at the black-clad young man before her, thinking this must be that Shadow Fu Ba. Suddenly, a man rushed into the hall and roared. As a princess, how dare the shadow guard be insubordinate, even resorting to using poison? This person is Feng Jinji, Chu Qingwang's consort. He takes advantage of the original owner's indulgence to act tyrannically in the mansion, and uses the original owner's hand to eliminate obstacles, supporting the third prince to power. However, in the second year after Fu Ba's death, Feng Jinji used a cup of poisoned wine to end Chu Qingwang's life. Looking at the scum man before her, Chu Qingwang said coldly, "Kneel outside." Feng Jinji's subordinates looked at Fu Ba, who was silently getting up. But then they heard Chu Qingwang speak again. "Feng Jinji, this princess is talking about you." A look of displeasure spread across Feng Jinji's face. "Is this the new trick you're using to provoke me? Our marriage was forced by imperial decree. Even if you use all your means, you won't win my heart." Chu Qingwang was too lazy to waste words with him. She directly attacked and sent Feng Jinji flying. Feng Jinji looked in disbelief at the woman who had once indulged him in every way. "Are you crazy?" She directly ordered the servants to take Feng Jinji out and give him 30 heavy blows. Feng Jinji's expression changed. Even now, he still couldn't believe that Chu Qingwang would treat him this way. After dealing with Feng Jinji, Chu Qingwang slowly walked to Fu Ba. She told him to take off his mask. Fu Ba knew that offending this tyrannical princess meant certain death for himself. Although he had been drugged, Chu Qingwang simply and slowly lifted Fu Ba's chin and had someone help him remove the mask. She knew someone had drugged Fu Ba, making him commit treason to also take his life. But Fu Ba was her person. Life and death are all within her calculations. And at this time, Fu Ba's face, the flush is becoming more intense. He probably can't last a cup of tea against this drug's effects. It will erupt in less than that. Chu Qingwang casually throws away the mask, thinking inwardly, why cover up such a beautiful face? Then she beckons Fu Ba to come over. Fu Ba's face is pale, his thin body slightly trembling. He only says, "This subordinate dares not." Chu Qingwang asks domineeringly, "Dare not what? Come here." Fu Ba restrains the almost boiling scorching sensation within his body. He respectfully kneels beside Chu Qingwang. Chu Qingwang infuses him with inner energy while asking. Fu Ba's mind gradually returns to clarity. He says, "Feng Jinji." Chu Qingwang frowns slightly. "You couldn't even see through this trick? Should I send you back to the Dark Pavilion for training again?" Fu Ba lowers his eyes, adopting a submissive and obedient demeanor. He says, "The wine brought by Feng Jinji was offered by your highness." This subordinate could not refuse to drink it. Chu Qingwang is surprised. "So you knew there was medicine, yet you still drank it?" But on second thought, Feng Jinji was spoiled by the original owner to the point where everyone in the mansion dared not even breathe out of turn. And Fu Ba was someone the original owner tormented in every way. Given the original owner's style, even if Fu Ba told the truth, she probably wouldn't believe it. Chu Qingwang deeply understood the Dark Pavilion shadow workers. She couldn't help but feel the desire to have all the Dark Pavilion shadow workers be completely loyal to her. At this moment, a servant's report interrupted her thoughts. Fu Kangfeng wanted to get up, but Chu Qingwang gently pressed him down. Instead, she told Yazan, "Splash him awake and continue beating him. Just leave him alive. And from now on, revoke Luo Ma's all special privileges in the princess's mansion. No need to treat him preferentially." The Yazan all felt that the princess had suddenly changed her personality today. But it's good that she is no longer infatuated with Feng Jinji. Chu Qingwang's gaze fell on Fu Ba's handsome face. "You are this palace's shadow, only obeying this one person. In the princess's mansion and even the entire Ziki royal family, no one except this palace can order you around." Ziki's top shadow worker was actually given an aphrodisiac and sent to offend the brutally tyrannical protector princess. But the princess, who usually tormented him in every way, was acting out of character. not only to detoxify him, but also to bathe with him. Absolutely obedient to the princess. Fu Ba hesitates at this moment. Dying naked would be too humiliating. She can actually hear Fu's thoughts. It turns out Fu Ba thought she was going to drown him. But Chu Qingwang didn't say much. She just leaned against the edge of the pool and asked Fu Ba to massage her shoulders. Fu Ba was slightly surprised. Isn't the princess going to kill him? But the princess today indeed seems like a different person. Fu Ba hesitantly reached out and pushed Chu Qingwang's hair aside. Seeing that she didn't move, he slowly started massaging her shoulders. Chu Qingwang thought to herself, well, of course it's a different person. The tyrannical and capricious original owner is no longer here. Thinking of this, she felt again that the original owner was really extremely stupid. Peerless martial arts and noble status. Even without this poison, and with such a powerful shadow guard like Fu Ba, she should have had unlimited glory. Yet, she ended up being used and dying a tragic death. But since she's here, all of this will change. She told Fu Kang to leak the news that Feng Jinji is in the princess's mansion, and then go to the dark pavilion to pick a few. The shadow guard brought him to the princess's residence. Fu Ba agreed with the sound and ran off in a panic. He really couldn't figure out today's princess. During mealtime, Chu Qingwang drove all the maids out, and instead called Fu Ba in. She had him sit down at the table. From today on, you will dine with me. Fu Ba couldn't help but be stunned. Since coming to the princess's residence, he had never eaten a hot meal. He had never even dreamed of the food before him. Fu Ba was simple-minded, utterly obedient and loyal. It's a pity he met the original owner. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but add, don't eat cold food anymore. It's not good for your health. Sixth Princess Chu Yiling rushed to Chu Qingwang's residence. She ran all the way to Feng Jinji's room. When she saw Feng Jinji, who was entangled by silkworms, Chu Yiling's face changed. She couldn't help but curse Chu Qingwang as crazy. Then she turned around and told the servants to quickly summon the imperial physician. At this moment, Chu Qingwang walked in unhurriedly. Imperial sister is very concerned about my consort. Entering the consort's room is more like being in her own palace. Planning to have a secret affair with Luo Ma? Chu Yiling quickly explained. She said she was afraid seventh sister would be wronged. In her heart, she cursed Chu Qingtu, the good-for-nothing. Why is he different from before? Chu Qingwang heard her thoughts very clearly, but she remained calm and looked at her. The next second, she shook off her hand. She said she would help Chu Yiling and Feng Jinji. In reality, she would use this opportunity to divorce Feng Jinji. In Renshu Palace, the Empress Dowager and consort Feng couldn't sit still either. What crazy thing is Chu Qingwang doing now? Jinji is a weak scholar. How can he withstand being beaten with a board? Consort Feng also looked pitiful. Empress Dowager, you must stand up for Jinji. Initially, the princess insisted on asking the emperor to bestow a marriage. Now that she's tired of him, she wants a divorce. What does she think the Feng family is? The Empress Dowager comforted consort Feng, telling her to relax. The Yuan family will definitely not let her act so recklessly. As they were speaking, Chu Qingwang arrived. She knew very well that the original owner was killed by these people. Because the Empress Dowager's preferred heir is the third prince, born to consort Feng. Also Feng Jinji's cousin. The Empress Dowager opened her mouth with a question. Where is Jinji? Are you so hurt you can't leave your residence? But consort Feng Gui asked with a fake smile. Xiao Qi, is there some misunderstanding? Chu Huang's eyes were cold. Feng Jinji has disrespected me many times. Why would I be uneasy divorcing someone who doesn't follow the way of a wife? The Empress Dowager immediately roared. Xiao Qi, do you have any manners? Are you being so presumptuous in front of me? Then she didn't expect something even more presumptuous was coming. Chu Qingwang directly turned around and pushed the door open to leave. If the Empress Dowager has nothing else, I'll leave first. The servant next to her was so scared that she shivered. However, watching Chu Qing wasn't heading in the direction of leaving the palace. Where is she going? The crazy princess invites her close attendant to bathe with her. But the boy is hesitant. He doesn't know what kind of torture this joy will receive. Half an hour ago, he was drugged and offended the princess. But the princess, who usually tortures him in every way, not only didn't blame him, but also detoxified him. Now, she just wants him to massage her shoulders. Not only that, Chu Qingwang also allows Fu Yi to eat 3 meals a day. With her, she decided to completely heal Fu Yi's body. After leaving the Empress Dowager's palace, Chu Qingwang went directly to the Imperial Hospital. The Imperial physicians were all trembling, waiting to be assigned tasks. Who knew this 7th princess? might cause bloodshed on the spot. Chu Qingwang couldn't help but marvel at the original owner's way of doing things. But she didn't waste any words. She told the imperial physicians what to do. She took some medicine and left. Then she asked an imperial physician to prescribe some medicine to nourish the body. The imperial hospital was instantly in chaos. The head imperial physician personally carried the medicine and saw Chu Qingwang off. After Chu Qingwang left, the imperial physicians began to discuss. The princess personally came to get medicine. It seems she wants to reconcile with the consort. The Empress Dowager was instantly gratified after receiving the news. The seventh princess still cares about Ping Jinji after all. But consort Feng was doubtful. But she could only hope so. After all, the third prince needs to obtain the throne. And he still needs Chu Qingwang. Jinji must stay in the princess's mansion and tie her heart. Chu Qingwang returned to the princess's mansion and ordered the servants to bring the medicine. Then she ordered him to take off his clothes and lie on the bed. Besides the consort, there are 4 other male consorts in the backyard. Your Highness, what do you mean by this? Chu Qingwang clearly understood his inner thoughts. That immediately put him at ease. This palace is not interested in value. Nor will I torture you. But the injuries on your body need medicine. Fu Ba obediently lay on the bed. This usually kills without blinking. The young man now looked embarrassed. While Chu Qingwang was applying medicine to him, she laid down the rules. You can openly follow me during the day. You don't have to stay on the roof beams at night. The brocade couch in the palace is fine. From now on, eat with me 3 meals a day. Fu Ba thought to himself. This is not in accordance with the rules. The next second, Chu Qingwang said, this is fate. Fu Ba could only nod his head in agreement. At this time, the medicine was almost ready. Chan Nu brought the medicine and told Chu Qingwang that the consort's condition was very dangerous. He fainted again. He keeps calling your highness in his mouth. After all, the consort is the son of the Feng family. If something really happens, Chu Qing took the medicine and only said that she would go see him in a while. She turned to instruct Fu Ba. Don't eat any more raw and cold food in the future. And don't take cold showers. Fu Kang verbally agreed. Deep down, I still feel that the princess is different from usual. Everything that happened today is very different from what he knew. Chu Qingwang came to Feng Jinji's Wutong courtyard and sighed again in her heart. The original owner still obeyed him in everything, allowing him to live in a separate courtyard. Feng Jinji lay on the bed, looking at Chu Qingwang gloomily. Chu Qingwang couldn't help but ask, what kind of look is that? Resent me? Feng Jinji coldly turned his head and said he wouldn't dare. Chu Qingwang turned her head and left. Dare or not, this palace will fulfill you. When your injury is better, I will give you a letter of divorce. Feng Jinji wanted to say something behind her. Chu Qingwang turned her head back with cold eyes. If you don't want your injury to worsen, you better learn to shut up. Take good care of your young master. Chu Qingwang had a plan in her mind at this time. First, Chu Yiling came to the door. Then the Empress Dowager and concubine Feng summoned her. And now Feng Jinji has also softened. Who will be the next one who can't sit still? The strongest imperial daughter transmigrates into a love brain princess. And also has a mind-reading buff. From the start, she divorced the consort who had ulterior motives. Facing the minister's questions, she was not afraid at all. She spoke domineeringly and hit the nail on the head. Directly suppressed the entire scene. The story of the princess beating the consort has spread like wildfire. As soon as Chu Qingwang entered the hall, Feng Jinji's father, Prime Minister Feng, couldn't wait to question her. Why she used private torture on the consort. Consort Feng also looked aggrieved, asking the emperor to stand up for the consort. Don't let the ministers lose heart. Chu Qingwang was still domineering. The consort insulted me. The fact that I didn't kill him is already a great favor. Saying Jinji has always been well-mannered. And it was the princess who wanted to marry him in the first place. So, Chu Qingwang's tone was extremely cold. And questioned Prime Minister Feng. Is Feng Jinji wronged? To marry me? This marriage was bestowed by the emperor. To feel wronged is to be dissatisfied with the emperor. Seeing that the prime minister couldn't withstand the pressure, the third prince, Chu Tianyan, began to lecture Chu Qingwang with a righteous tone, implying that she disregarded the laws of Western Qi and the dignity of the royal family. Chu Qingwang didn't give him any face either, only saying that 50 strokes were light. If there's any more nonsense, just wait to be chopped into pieces and fed to the dogs. The Empress Dowager immediately flew into a rage. Insolent. The emperor finally couldn't bear it and began to persuade. Feng Jinji is just a consort. Don't go too far. At this moment, the emperor is already extremely annoyed by this matter. Because there are only 6 months left. The Feng family's son gets beaten, and it's never ending. And all of his inner thoughts are heard clearly by Chu Qingwang. Dongling is the strongest country on the continent. Shiwu can't compete. They can only pay tribute to Dongling. Chu Qingwang put aside the topic of horses and directly asked her father if he was worried about the tribute, and said she had a plan. Upon hearing this, the emperor was invigorated. But Prime Minister Feng was secretly displeased, wondering what Chu Qingwang was planning. Chu Qingwang didn't bother with him, and directly said that Dongling is strong, because there is no corruption and the treasury is full. It would be best if we, Ziki, also rectified the corrupt officials. As soon as she said this, the ministers in the hall felt a chill run down their spines. Then Chu Qingwang said again, "Let's start with him." The Empress Dowager couldn't stand it anymore, saying that a rash move might cause discontent in the court. Consort Feng also echoed, saying it wasn't safe. Chu Qingwang ignored them. Within a month, she will expose all corrupt officials. She also wants to ensure that Ziki this year no longer has to pay tribute to Dongling. The Empress Dowager immediately flew into a rage, saying Chu Qingtu is spouting nonsense. Prime Minister Feng echoed, saying Chu Qingwang wants to plunge Ziki into internal strife, telling her not to cause trouble for the emperor. Chu Qingwang retorted unyieldingly, "Do you all think it's adding glory to the country to let Dongling levy tribute from our Ziki?" Seeing the argument heating up, the emperor became annoyed. He asked everyone to leave first. Shaoqi, stay. Prime Minister Feng and the third prince were muttering inwardly. Paying tribute to Dongling is a last resort. The seventh princess is indeed all brawn and no brains. Once she ruins Consort Duan's faction in front of the emperor, the throne will be mine. As they brushed past each other, Chu Qingtu also heard his thoughts clearly. After everyone had left, the emperor finally spoke, saying that no country currently has the strength to contend with Dongling. He asked Shaoqi if she had any solutions regarding the tribute issue. How could this emperor willingly submit to Dongling? But she also stated that she didn't plan to contend with Dongling, but had a way to make Dongling voluntarily waive Ziki's tribute. The emperor was invigorated, but then shook his head. This is simply impossible. Chu Qingwang says nothing is impossible, as long as you agree to my conditions. The answer will be clear within 3 months. The emperor pondered to himself. There are still half a year until the autumn tribute. Even if Chu Qingwang can't do it in 3 months, there will still be time to find a solution. Finding it feasible, he asked, "What conditions does Chu Qingwang have?" Chu Qingwang's eyes were firm. "Give me the dark pavilion. Within a month, I'll solve the problem of the empty treasury for you. Second, infect me as the eldest princess, with a status second only to the future heir apparent. She doesn't hesitate to go against the entire prime minister's mansion. At the slightest disagreement, she would find someone's house. Everyone treats her like a crazy, brainless martial woman. Even her birth mother uses her to pave the way for her son. But her seemingly absurd actions are actually all under control." Chu Qingwang said she could help the emperor solve the matter of the annual tribute, but also proposed 2 conditions. One is to infect her as the eldest princess, and the other is to let her control the dark pavilion. The emperor was somewhat hesitant, while also considering the court factions and the matter of establishing an heir. His 5 sons were equally matched, but they all lack a helping hand. They all focus their energy on scheming for power in the court. Qing Huang is much more steady, but she is, after all, a woman. This time, let's agree to her terms first. But if she can't do it, then these inner thoughts naturally didn't escape Chu Qing's ears. She immediately guaranteed to the emperor that if she couldn't do it, she would commit suicide as an apology. After leaving the hall, Chu Qingtu was called over by her birth mother, Consort Duan. On the surface, Consort Duan was kind to Qing Huang, but in her heart, she was always calculating how to use this daughter to pave the way for her son, Chu Tian. She wished Chu Qingwang would make a big fuss, so that if she achieved merit, Chu Tian could benefit. If she offended people, Chu Tian could wait until Chu Tian ascends the throne before thinking of a way to get rid of her, to avoid future troubles. Chu Qingwang silently listened to her mother's little calculations. Consort Duan then called her. "What are you thinking about?" Qing Huang didn't want to be polite with this superficial mother. She directly asked, "What do you want me to do?" Consort Duan wasn't polite either. She wanted Chu Qingwang to investigate the ministers for the position of Minister of the Ministry of Works. Chu Qingwang directly refused. "I can't decide this matter." After speaking, she was about to leave, and said she would consider her mother's words. Consort Duan's face turned green. Wei Buzu bit her teeth. On the way back, Chu Qingwang kept thinking. Even her biological mother disliked her so much. The original owner lived such a failure. Was tortured to death by her own hands. A moment later, the carriage arrived at the princess's mansion. Just getting out of the carriage, she saw the servant with a pale face. Feng Jinji stood at the door with a pale face. I want to know. However, before he could finish speaking, Chu Qingwang interrupted him. See? You still haven't learned your lesson. Haven't learned a lesson yet? Before Feng Jinji could react. Make him kneel here for an hour. Don't faint. Feng Jinji was still in a state of extreme narcissism. Shouting at Chu Qingwang's back. No matter what means you use, I won't. The voice stopped abruptly. Then a scream was heard. Fu Kang kicked his popliteal fossa hard. When Chu Qingwang turned around, Jin Ji is already kneeling on the ground. Fu Ba explains to Chu Qingwang with a firm gaze. The consort's insubordination deserves 10,000 deaths. Chu Qingwang's lips slightly curl in delight. An indescribable tenderness emerges in her heart. Everyone kneels down to welcome the imperial decree. The eunuch reads out the imperial decree, bestowing Chu Qingwang the title of Grand Princess. And pays respects to the Grand Princess. Chu Qingwang responds and helps Fu Ba up. She inwardly curses again. What is Feng Jinji even? Fu Ba accepts the imperial decree and seal. Chu Qingwang's first goal has been achieved. What she wants is to gallop across the land and command heroes. To be the ruler of the world, whom 10,000 prostrate before. Back at the residence, Chu Qingwang tells her maid to take the imperial decree and store it away. Now is the time to consider how to solve the problems of the national treasury and accountability. Suddenly, a pair of hands touches her temples. Fu Ba massages her with just the right amount of pressure. And says he has selected several shadows. Asking if Chu Qingwang wants to meet them. Fu Ba tells them to come in. 4 figures flash in like ghosts. Fu Feng, Fu Yun, Fu Wei. The 4 youths report their names. Greetings, Master. Chu Qingwang directly assigned tasks. Evidence of forming cliques for personal gain. After the young men received their orders, they flashed out like ghosts. Fu Ba continued to massage Chu Qingwang. Chu Qingwang's voice was indifferent. You are the top expert in the Dark Pavilion. Fu Ba's massage movements faltered. The title of top expert made him suffer too much in the past 2 years. Back then, the princess couldn't defeat him. And he was too proud to bow his head. This led to him being cruelly tortured. Until yesterday, the 7th princess seemed to have become a different person. Fu Ba subconsciously wanted to kneel. But then he heard Chu Qingwang say, answer while standing. Chu Qingwang wanted Fu Kang to take charge of the Dark Pavilion. Asked him if he could do it. Fu Ba hesitated for a moment. He answered, yes. Chu Qingwang didn't say anything more, silently contemplating. With the eldest princess in charge of the Dark Pavilion, she would have even more confidence to be arrogant and willful. The power struggles between court officials and nobles can be dealt with later. Suddenly, Chu Qingwang thought of the original owner. There were still 4 male consorts in the harem. So many things had happened in the past 2 days. Yet none of the several consorts came out to watch the fun. The consorts in the harem are not simple people either. They naturally know what happened these past couple of days. Yi Bei said lazily. Feng Jinji was punished. What does Wen Zan think about this? Wen Zan said nonchalantly while drinking tea. The mascot Han Yu sighed while feeding the fish. It seems this princess has suddenly become enlightened. The court of Western Qi is about to change. A cold and resolute shadow guard during the day. Hiding in the princess's arms at night, trembling. Just because he gets ice cold and shakes non-stop when he falls asleep. Chu Qingtu, who was sleeping inside. She took the candlestick and walked out. And she found Fu Kang curled up into a ball and shivering non-stop. However, the current weather isn't cold. And Fu Kang is a powerful shadow guard. It's really not right for this to happen. She walked to the bed and carefully tested Fu Kang's forehead. Fu Kang woke up instantly. Reflexively grabbed Chu Qingwang's wrist. He was shocked when he realized it was the princess. He hurriedly released his hand. But Chu Qingwang grabbed Fu Kang's pulse instead. The pulse is normal. But his body just now was indeed as cold as a piece of ice. Chu Qingtu pondered for a moment. Fu Kang. He knew this was against the rules. He said softly, this subordinate dares not. Chu Qingwang helplessly reminded him that this was fate. Resistance was futile. Fu Ba was facing the situation for the first time. He was at a loss, his movements stiff. He slowly shuffled to the bedside. Does this palace need to carry you? Fu Ba instantly flashed onto the bed and lay down. Chu Qingwang found it amusing. Why does it feel like I'm forcing someone into prostitution? Immediately afterwards, she threw her blanket to Fu Ba. and told him to cover himself up and go to sleep. Having said that, she turned around and closed her eyes. Fu Ba's expression was blank. Inwardly uneasy, he stole glances at Chu Qingwang. At this moment, he felt even more that Her Highness the Princess was truly a bit strange today. But the master's command could not be disobeyed. Since I'm lying here, I might as well be at peace. Sleep. A moment later. But Chu Qingwang didn't fall asleep. Irregular diet and rest also greatly affect lifespan. Fu Ba is starting to shrink up again. Extremely harmful to the body. Just as she was lost in thought, she suddenly realized that although the Shadow Guard's living conditions are harsh, Fu Ba's situation is truly too strange. I still need to find some time to ask the imperial physician to take a look. At this moment, Fu Kang suddenly began to move slowly. It was like subconsciously seeking warmth. Before long, he directly reached out to hug Chu Qingtu. But his body temperature was still very cold. Chu Qingwang didn't move. After a moment of thought, she came to 3 conclusions. First, she was warmer than the quilt. When Fu Ba sleeps, his body is ice cold. It should be comfortable to hug him to sleep in the summer. In winter, more charcoal would be needed. If she touched Fu Ba, his alertness as a martial artist would immediately be awakened. However, now that he is actively hugging her, he has no reaction. If she were to wake him up now, he would definitely be terrified by her presumptuous act. However, Chu Qingwang didn't move. She just let Fu Ba hug her like that. The next morning, when Fu Ba woke up, he was still a little dazed. He had almost never slept so soundly. But when he saw Chu Qingwang in front of him, he instantly jolted. He dodged away from Chu Qingtu like lightning. He knelt down and said, "Your subordinate deserves to die." But Chu Qingwang asked him calmly, "Did you sleep well hugging this palace?" Close figure industrial strange disease attack. Fall asleep all over cold trembling ceaselessly. Only by holding the princess can I sleep peacefully. And when Fu Ba woke up, he saw doing something so rebellious. He instantly flashed off the bed and knelt down to confess. Chu Qingwang naturally knew everything. She just rubbed her sore neck and told Fu Kang to assist with washing up. A moment later, Chu Qingwang came out of the palace. Unexpectedly, Feng Jinji was dragging his heavily injured, wilted body, waiting outside. He is just trash in Chu Qingwang's eyes now, even though he humbled himself and took the initiative to admit his mistake. "Come on, princess, don't bother with him," and weakly asked if the princess has fallen in love with someone else. Chu Qingwang remained unmoved. At this time, Fu Kang just came out to put a coat on Qingwang. "I didn't understand feelings before. Blah blah blah," regretted a bunch. Finally, asking the princess to give him another chance. Chu Qingwang's eyes were cold and her heart was unmoved. Instead, she asked Fu Ba, "Do you believe what he said?" Fu glanced at Feng Jinji. Feng Jinji gritted his teeth and muttered, "A cheap shadow guard. The princess used to hate him the most. What's going on now?" When Chu Qingwang asked him if he thought Fu Kang had given this palace a love potion, Feng Jinji affirmed that it was highly possible. Chu Qingtu just felt that this person probably has some big problem. Can't they hear the sarcasm? Chu Qingwang was too lazy to waste words with him. Get the divorce papers this afternoon and crawl away. He felt he had never been so deferential to Chu Qingwang. Now that he's being nice, this person is still not satisfied. Chu Qingwang's expression also changed. And without turning her head, she said, "Looks like you still haven't learned your lesson." Before Feng Jinji could even speak, his knee was kicked hard again. The intense pain made him break out in a cold sweat. He was cursing people in his heart non-stop. Chu Qingwang could hear it all. She felt not anger, but contempt for Feng Jinji. He couldn't even curse in a new way. Then, she gently touched Fu Wan's head, thanking him for bringing the clothes. Fu Juan was instantly stunned. He had never seen such a gentle princess. He couldn't help but feel a flutter in his heart and his cheeks turned red. Inside the Feng residence, many people were uneasy. If the third prince wanted to ascend the throne, he had to use Chu Qingwang to remove obstacles. Before, they relied on Feng Jinji to control Chu Qingtu. But no one expected Chu Qingwang to suddenly treat Feng Jinji like trash. They even threatened to go after the families of the 7 ministers. But for now, no one can do anything about Chu Qingwang. They can only try to appease her. The Feng residence's invitation has been sent to Chu Qingwang, inviting her to tomorrow's flower appreciation banquet. Chu Qingwang casually agreed. It seems some people are getting restless. The shadow guards she sent out have already collected a lot of evidence. Chu Qingwang looked through the scrolls while listening to Fu Ba's report. The Minister of Personnel has embezzled a huge amount of money. No wonder concubine Duan wants her family, the Ling family, to take over. as long as they occupy this position. 735. 013. 433 to 0 hours 14 minutes and 4 seconds, 132. The money for the succession battle will be easily obtained. Thinking of this, Chu Qingwang suddenly asked Fu Ba, who is more suitable for this position? Fu Ba thought that the Ling family was Chu Qingwang's maternal family. So he carefully suggested the second master Ling. Chu Qingwang knew what Fu Ba was thinking, and said directly that she had no interest in planning for Chu Tian. Nor did she want the Ling family to take over. Fu Ba then remembered, and said the father of Wen Zan, one of the consorts in the harem, that he might be qualified for the position of Minister of Personnel. Chu Qingwang was slightly surprised and said, Fu Ba is a top martial artist. I didn't expect him to understand these power schemes. She couldn't help but ask Fu Ba why he recommended Wen Xingyun. Fu Ba explained that Wen Xingyun supports the fifth prince, incompatible with the faction supporting the third prince, also at odds with Minister Hong Chengai. However, Wen Xingyun's abilities are average. He is not valued by the fifth prince. The Ministry of Revenue might be useful to Her Highness the Princess. Wen Zan in the back courtyard is Wen Xingyun's foundation. But son-in-law Wen Li is 100 times stronger. Unfortunately, he was schemed into the seventh princess's residence as a consort. Therefore, Wen Zan is also at odds with the Wen family. If Yiruo doesn't need Wen Xingyun later, she can directly eliminate him and keep Wen Zan, and not have to worry about Wen Gang seeking a price. After Father Fu finished speaking, he quickly apologized. This subordinate spoke out of turn. Chu Qingtu immediately decided to meet Wen Zan, and told the maid to tell Feng Jinji that he must attend tonight, in the water pavilion at night. Several vice ministers came to pay their respects to the eldest princess, each with outstanding looks. Chu Qingwang couldn't help but feel that the original owner's reputation for lechery was well deserved. Chu Huang made the excuse that she hadn't seen them in months, and her memory wasn't too good. She asked them to introduce themselves. Qi family's Qi Ling, Shen family's pockmarked Shen Changjin, Wen family's Wen Zan, introduced by Yiwan. Chu Qingwang couldn't help but complain inwardly. How much did the original owner like Wen Zan? Or was it because Wen Zan was easy to bully? Being held down, he can't resist. The scummy consort has completely fallen out of favor. Zan Jing relied on the princess's favor. He used to throw his weight around in the manor. But now he can only be with the other consorts in the back courtyard. And he suffers the disdain and mockery of the other consorts. When Wen Zan introduced himself, Chu Qingwang's eyes suddenly lit up. Such demeanor, is he really a commoner? She casually asked. I heard you are quite knowledgeable. Wen Zan humbly replied. Thank you for your praise, princess. When did the princess change her ways? Shouldn't she be concerned about my looks and attire? Chu Qingwang silently thought. I'm not concerned about those things. She also bluntly said. The last one to be introduced is Hong Yu. This one is a beauty. He is not a commoner. But the original owner took a fancy to his beauty, and bought him from an auction. Seeing that the consorts are all outstanding in appearance and temperament, how could the original owner be so fixated on Feng Jinji? Other than having a wealthy family, where is he worthy of being the consort? At this time, Feng Jinji was being helped by the servants arriving at the hall. He no longer has the arrogant attitude he had before, verbally greeting the seventh princess, mentally also greeting the seventh princess. Hong Yu bluntly reminds Feng Jinji. Princess Ru He has already been named Grand Princess. You should say, greetings, Grand Princess. Feng Jinji barely suppresses his anger. With a dark face, greetings, Grand Princess. She suddenly feels that this Hong Yu is someone who isn't afraid of big trouble. Feng Jinji's arrival caused the other waiting gentlemen to look at each other. What's the meaning of calling him here? Deliberately tormenting him? Or wanting to continue admitting his status? Or is it a beating followed by a treat? They will get the answer soon. Just as Feng Jinji was about to sit down next to Chu Qingwang suddenly disdainfully told him to sit opposite. Feng Jinji almost couldn't restrain himself. But seeing Chu Qingwang's expression, he held it back again. Bearing the pain in his buttocks, he sat down gently. Hong Yu laughed out loud without restraint, and teased that the situation for the consort is probably easier to kneel than to sit. Feng Jinji had never suffered such humiliation. He immediately slammed the table and stood up. You're being impudent. I'll eat standing up. Wen Zan also took the opportunity to say a few sour words. The consort is delicate and precious, and was beaten. Of course he can't take it after being hit. Qi Ling continued to kick him when he's down. Practice makes perfect. A few more punishments and he'll toughen up. Chu Qingwang pretended not to hear. Instead, she asked Fu Ba to sit next to her. Fu Ba hesitated. silently sat down next to Chu Qingwang. Now, it's not just him who feels it's against the rules. Then he heard Chu Qingwang say, "The consort is unwell. Don't worry about the affairs of the mansion. Give the internal management power to Fu Kang. The princess's backyard has 4 male consorts. Each of them is not one to be trifled with. One relies on his appearance too. Another dares to negotiate with the princess. The princess shields her brother. Not only is the princess not angry, but she is very happy. Good. Very bold. My type." Dinner at the princess's mansion was quite strange. Ying Gong was next to the princess. Several consorts sat opposite. The most miserable was the consort, Feng Jinji. Not only was he given the cold shoulder by several consorts, but he also stood throughout the entire meal. He couldn't help but curse Chu Qingwang in his heart. Is making myself suffer for half an hour to establish Li Cheng? After dinner, Wen and several other male consorts individually asked Wen Zun to stay behind. Feng Jinji was very dissatisfied, but verbally, he could only politely take his leave, inwardly vowing to settle the score later. Chu Qingwang just treated him like air. After everyone left, Wen Zun went straight to the point. "Does your highness have any official business for keeping me here?" Chu Qingwang bluntly said, "I heard your scholarship is good, but you don't have much status in the Wen family." Wen Zun was slightly surprised. The princess never cares about matters of the inner court. Where did you hear about this? But verbally, he honestly agreed. Chu Qingwang continued to ask if he wanted to enter office. Wen Zun was very surprised. Although the laws of Ziki stipulate that male consorts cannot hold office, as long as this eldest princess wants it, it wouldn't be a problem for him to go. But there is still one obstacle. He is just an unpopular child of the Wen family. Lord Wen will not let him surpass the legitimate son. These are all trivial matters to Chu Qingwang. She only asked Wen Zun, "Do you want to or not?" Wen Zun's tone was firm. "If your highness needs me to enter office, I will go through fire and water without hesitation. But I have a condition." Chu Qingwang asked what the condition was. She sighed inwardly. This Wen Zun is also very daring. He dares to negotiate with the most tyrannical princess of Western Qi. Wen Zun first pledged his loyalty, guaranteeing that he would only dedicate himself to the princess. Then he raised a few conditions. He wants absolute freedom and power, under the protection of this princess's mansion, and to no longer be restrained by anyone from the Wen family. Because he had been bullied in the Wen family since he was a child. But his father watched coldly. Even when he secretly went to his father's study to read, he would be thrown out. 915. Finally, he raised another request. If one day he kills his father and brother, your highness must cover for him. Chu Qingwang stood up with a whoosh after listening. Very daring. She wasn't angry, but she appreciated Wen Zun even more. After all, she looks down on timid people and cannot conspire with her. Then she told Wen Zun, "Get a top scholar degree." As she turned around, Chu Qingwang suddenly said again, "The day after tomorrow is Lord Wen's 50th birthday. This palace will go with you to congratulate him." A hint of a smile appeared on the corner of Wen Zun's mouth. "Thank you, your highness. I will definitely not disappoint your highness." The next day is the day the Feng residence holds the flower viewing banquet. Feng Wanyue looked displeased. "Chu Qing County, why do I have to hold a flower viewing banquet to invite her? This is really annoying. Madame Feng is more open-minded. The Hua family still needs to use Chu Qingwang to pave the way. But sooner or later, I will settle the score with her." At this time, a servant's announcement came from outside the door. "The eldest princess has arrived." Madame Feng immediately changed her face and went up to greet her. Before she could finish speaking, she was interrupted by Chu Qing. "By the maid next to Huang. Your highness has now been named the eldest princess. Wherever she goes, the people should pay their respects with great ceremony. Does Madame Feng understand etiquette?" Before Madame Feng could react, she met Chu Qingwang's cold eyes. She immediately backed down. A mother-in-law with ulterior motives warmly greets her daughter-in-law, while the daughter-in-law coldly asks her to kneel and pay her respects. After all, hierarchy cannot be disrupted. Before the flower viewing banquet, Madame Feng wanted to get close to Chu Qingwang, but a maid reminded her that your highness is now the eldest princess. Madame should pay respects with great ceremony. Being criticized by a maid made Madame Feng very annoyed, but she was restrained by Chu Qingwang's status. "Just say it. It's not your place, servant, to interrupt." Chu Qingwang didn't want to give her even that much face. She stated directly that the order of seniority must not be disrupted. The Feng family doesn't need to curry favor. Madame Feng grit her teeth in anger, but she could only respectfully bow. "Greetings, your highness, the eldest princess." But inwardly, she cursed Chu Qingwang for putting on airs. Chu Qingwang acted as if she didn't hear. Without turning her head, she left behind a "you may be excused." The Madame Feng behind her was very displeased. If she weren't the eldest princess, I, as her mother-in-law, would have to teach her how to behave. After entering the house, Feng Wanyue asked anxiously about her brother's situation. Chu Qingwang casually told her he wouldn't die. After a few days, when he's healed, you can take him back. The implicit meaning being, this imperial consort is not wanted by me. Feng Wanyue forced a smile and said ingratiatingly, Your Highness must be joking, right? The imperial consort was bestowed by imperial decree. How can you easily? Chu Qingwang didn't take the imperial decree seriously at all. Besides, Feng Jinji has always been presumptuous and insolent. The original owner favored him and didn't hold it against him. But she isn't the original owner. Chu Qingwang replied without ceremony. Don't want him to be sent back after being divorced. Do you want him to stay at the princess's mansion? And be tormented every few days? These words obviously carried a sarcastic meaning. Madame Feng couldn't help but curse silently in her heart. This bitch. I really want to see if she can still be so calm. If a cup of tea is splashed on her head. Chu Qingwang turned to look at Madame Feng and asked her. Do you especially want to splash tea on me? Madame Feng was greatly shocked. Chu Qingwang reminded her. It's best not to. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do. I'm in a bad mood today. Let's talk about it when I have time later. After saying that, she put down the teacup and got up to leave. Madame Feng was trembling with anger. But she could only grit her teeth and endure it. As Chu Qingwang walked out, she didn't forget to remind her. Give Feng Jinji 3 more days to recover from his injuries. If you don't take him back by then, don't blame me for using extraordinary means. Madame Feng wished Chu Qingwang would die on the spot. But she couldn't do anything about her. Just as Chu Qingwang walked out of the door, third Prince Chu Tianyan stopped her, saying that he was here to see his uncle and aunt. Seventh sister, let's go in together. Chu Qingwang's face was indifferent. She walked straight towards her carriage. Unexpectedly, Chu Tianyan directly intervened to stop her. Instantly, a sound of windbreaking was heard. Fu swiftly aimed at his wrist. Then he flashed in front of Chu Qingwang. The guards beside Chu Tianyan all drew their swords. Assassinating a prince is an unforgivable crime. They all pointed their swords at Fu, who was standing beside Chu Qingwang. Fu looked calm and unafraid. Lan Ziyu, supported by the eldest princess, remained influential. The disciples on the side were adding fuel to the fire, completely unaware that disaster was about to befall them, and that Du Ziyu was about to ride on their heads. As soon as Chu Qingwang arrived at the Wen residence, she ordered each of several disciples to receive 30 slaps. Wen Li, behind the door, saw this scene. Wen Gang reminded the others. Everyone, you'd better do as she says. Otherwise, if Her Royal Highness the eldest princess gets angry, I'm afraid it won't be good for anyone. Maybe there will be bloodshed. The young masters were full of hatred. But they couldn't resist Chu Qingwang's aura. They all started slapping their own faces. Chu Qingwang didn't even turn her head and said as she walked. Too quiet. At this moment, Wen Xingyun happened to walk to the door. He immediately saw kneeling outside the door a group of young masters slapping themselves. Because his first reaction was, Chu Qingwang's voice was still cold and clear, explaining her purpose. Today, besides giving Lord Wen birthday wishes, there are also matters to discuss. Wen Xingyun instantly caught the key word. His heart couldn't help but skip a beat. Birthday wishes are a small matter. Having matters to discuss is the important thing. This matter is probably not a good thing. He hurriedly respectfully gestured for Chu Qingwang to enter. It's not convenient to talk at the door. Chu Qingwang naturally knew Wen Xingyun's concerns. She turned and became amiable towards him, stating her position. Saying the people at the door had spoken rudely, offending them, perhaps insulting Lord Wen's honor. This princess expresses her apologies. As soon as these words came out, Wen Xingyun was even more confused. The 7th princess, who has always been known for her brutality. She would actually show me affection. After sitting down, Wen Xingyun asked what brought Chu Qingwang here today. Wen Xingyun's nervous appearance made Chu Qingwang find it amusing. She simply said, Master Wen, no need to be nervous. Today, firstly, I'm here to support Master Wen. And secondly, to give you a heads up about the matter of confiscating homes. Upon hearing confiscating homes, Wen Xingyun broke out in a cold sweat and quickly asked the princess to clarify. At this moment, a servant suddenly rushed in to report that they had just received a letter and the situation was urgent. Wen Xingyun regretted that he hadn't seen that Her Royal Highness, the eldest princess, was here. Chu Qingwang didn't mind, since it was something important. Master Wen should read the letter first. After Wen Xingyun opened the letter, his expression changed rapidly, and he began to tremble uncontrollably. The letter said that the eldest princess had evidence of his corruption, and would bring people to search Wen's residence tomorrow. Chu Qingwang asked him casually, "Does it concern me?" Wen Xingyun was shocked. Chu Qingwang was just about to mention the house confiscation, and now someone was reminding him that Chu Qingwang was targeting the Wen residence. Yet he heard Chu Qingwang say that he didn't need to be nervous, that she had come today to give him a heads up, looking for the Minister Hong's residence. Minister Hong supports Consort Feng and the third prince. Minister Wen is a minister from my mother's side. I won't deal with my own people. As for this letter, someone must have been prepared. Wen Xingyun understood instantly. His fear turned to surprise. So that means... Then Chu Qingwang said, "After the Hong family is destroyed, the position of minister will be vacant." Being a man, yet seducing people. It's simply a disgrace to the Wen family. His words revealed mockery and ridicule. Wen Li pointed in anger and scolded him for being shameless. Wen Zan looked calm and talked about Wen Li's plot to get him into. Starting from this incident, where is there any sense of shame in the Wen family? Wen Zan exposed this directly, making Wen Li feel a bit ashamed for a moment. He only verbally scolded Wen Zan for talking nonsense. Wen Zan generously advised him, "Don't be impulsive. Today, even the Long Princess has come to Wajing to celebrate father's birthday." When Wen Zan mentioned the Long Princess, Wen Li restrained his tone. He only complained inwardly that Wen Zan's reliance on the Long Princess had given him strong wings. Hong Yu, the son of the minister of the Ministry of Households, was unaware that his family was about to be destroyed. At this moment, he was still smugly stirring up trouble, saying, "This world is really chaotic." Meng Zi, on the other hand, was silent. This remark instantly ignited Wen Li's anger. A lowly concubine's son who merely entered the princess's mansion dares to dream of riding on my head? However, he didn't know that Wen Zan was indeed about to ride on his head, because Wen Xingyun, who was talking to the Long Princess, had already understood Chu Qingwang's intention. Chu Qingwang could let him take the position of minister, but there were conditions. Wen Xingyun knew how to assess the situation, and directly asked, "What does your highness want the subject to do?" Chu Qingwang didn't beat around the bush, saying she wanted Wen Zan to obtain fame. Wen Xingyun had concerns. Chu Qingwang told him not to worry. "For me, it's nothing." Seeing Chu Qingwang putting so much effort into Wen Zan, Wen Xingyun secretly pondered if Wen Zan was favored. Although it's not honorable, getting the position of minister in one go is very cost-effective. He immediately agreed to Chu Qing's conditions. Chu Qingwang was also very satisfied. With things settled, she prepared to return home. Wen Xingyun saw Chu Qingwang off, asking when she planned to take action. Chu Qingwang hadn't even finished a sentence when several sharp arrows suddenly attacked like lightning. The tyrannical princess was assassinated. The close-fitting bodyguard was eager to protect his master, revealing unprecedented panic. He wasn't afraid of being punished himself, but worried about losing his master. Chu Qingwang had just finished talking to Wen Xingyun about Wen Zan when she was assassinated as soon as she stepped out of the room. Suddenly, a black shadow flashed out like a ghost, directly crushing the assassin's neck. In an instant, 4 corpses fell to the ground. The previously decisive Fu Ba was now in shock. His eyes were full of suppressed panic. Wen Xingyun only reacted now, shouting for people. "There are assassins." Chu Qingwang knew that this was not a coincidence, turned her head to tell Wen Xingyun not to be anxious about Amon. Then she leaned down to check the assassin's condition. "Amon, little one." Fu Ba also confirmed that these assassins were dead. Thinking back to the letter Wen Xingyun received, Chu Qingwang realized that these assassins were coming for her. However, as soon as she lifted the assassin's mask, a cloud of poisonous gas instantly burst out. Fu Ba's expression changed drastically. He kicked the dead assassin's body away. Although Chu Qingwang retreated and dodged immediately, she still inhaled a trace of poisonous gas. The medicinal properties were fierce. She staggered backwards. Fu Ba's eyes were full of panic. He moved quickly to support Chu Qingwang. He pressed several key points on her body to seal the major meridians. Chu Qingwang was still all right. Wen Xingyun was so frightened he nearly lost his soul. He yelled for the servants to fetch the imperial physician. But Chu Qingwang stopped him. She told him not to make a sound. This assassination was not so simple. After she calmed down, she reminded Wen Xingyun. If something happens to me in the Wen family, what consequences will there be when word gets out? Wen Xingyun naturally understood. Even if Chu Qingwang didn't pursue the matter, the emperor wouldn't let the Wen family off. After all, it happened in the Wen family. If Chu Qingwang someday is dissatisfied with Wen Xingyun and claims the assassin was sent by the Wen family, he wouldn't be able to explain himself. Wen Xingyun is full of questions. What is the origin of these assassins? Why isn't the usually temperamental eldest princess angry? But Chu Qingwang has a good idea in her mind. At this time, Fu Kang is still in shock, pale and trembling all over. Completely lost the composure a shadow guard should have. Chu Qingwang also noticed Fu Kang's emotions. She didn't expect Fu Kang to react so strongly. She couldn't help but take Fu Kang's hand to comfort him. This has nothing to do with you. And I won't blame you for not protecting me well enough. Fu Kang's emotions slowly stabilized. He wasn't afraid of being punished, but worried about Chu Qingwang's safety, and blamed himself for not protecting her well. After comforting Fu Kang, Chu Qingwang turned to tell Wen Xingyun. Find a secluded place to cremate the bodies. This matter cannot be publicized. However, this matter has just ended, and another trouble comes along. The eldest son and several young masters beat up the second son. Q Amon, the domineering princess, is coming. She directly finds the family when she disagrees. The eldest young master who was still arrogant a second ago. The next second, he'll become a hated stray dog. Chu Qingwang and Wen Xingyun had just finished dealing with the assassination. Several young masters beat the second young master. In the banquet hall, Wen Zan, under everyone's eyes, was escorted by guards to Wen Li. Wen Li loudly ordered Wen Zan to kneel down, and also threatened to teach him how to be a man. At this moment, a stern shout came. Stop! Immediately afterward, Wen Xingyun's slap landed on Wen Li's face. He bullied Wen Zan for decades. Wen Xingyun had always turned a blind eye. Now, he actually slapped him in public. For Wen Zan's sake, the people also didn't react. Wen Zan touched his face, slightly, sarcastically asking Wen Xingyun, Father, look at my face. The face that relies on beauty, is it ruined? Wen Xingyun was displeased. This young man actually makes relying on beauty sound so righteous. Before Wen Xingyun could speak, Chu Qingwang's cold voice sounded. It deserves to be beaten. Everyone was even more surprised to see Chu Qingwang's arrival. Their faces turned pale. They saw Chu Qing, Wen Zan, looking at his chin left and right. Wen Zan smiled faintly. Your Highness, I don't hurt. Looking at Wen Zan's harmless smile, Chu Qingwang couldn't help but sigh inwardly. What a huge white lotus. But Wen Zhanhua is her person. This anger must be vented. Seeing everyone silent, Chu Qingwang asked again. I have limited time. Who will explain? Han Yu, the son of Minister Yan Bu, stood up at this time. After meeting Her Royal Highness the Princess, he began to reason, saying there is no reason for a legitimate son to be ridden on by a concubine. The eldest son Wen is just disapproving. The second son is arrogant. The Hong family is the Empress Dowager's relatives. Hong Yu was sure that Chu Qing wouldn't oppose the Hong family for a male concubine. But he was wrong. Chu Qingwang didn't give him any face, and directly asked him to apologize to Wen Zan. I can let it go. Hong Yu didn't even give Chu Qingwang face, and bluntly said that he would never apologize to someone who serves others with their looks. He is a legitimate son of the minister. How could he apologize to this kind of person? Apologize to the person behind the scenes. After drinking a full cup of green tea, Wen Zan begins to perform. Your Highness, don't move Chow. This worth is already looked down upon. But I am willing. It's my honor to serve your Highness. Chu Qingwang already has a plan in mind. But she just tells Hong Yu calmly. I hope you can still be so arrogant in an hour. Then she tells Wen Xingwei again. My congratulatory gift will be sent soon. But Wen Li bullied my people. Lord Wen must also give an explanation. Although Wen Xingyun feels sorry for Jingza, he can only respectfully tell Her Highness to rest assured. Chu Qingwang turns and leaves, and says she will bring people to check the injuries later. If I am satisfied, Lord Wen will also be satisfied. After speaking, she orders Fu Kang to take the Imperial Guards and raid the Minister of Revenue's house tonight. Fu Kang agrees calmly, and the people behind him are shocked. At this time, the third prince is still drinking tea leisurely. He is sure that the assassins sent to assassinate have already acted. Chu Qingwang will not live past today. But a servant suddenly reports that Hong Yu offended Wen Zan. Chu Qingwang is furious for the sake of a male beauty, and is now taking people to raid Hong Yu's backer's house. Chu Tianyan slams the table and stands up. What's going on? Chu Qingwang is not only alright, but also going to confiscate property. In the carriage. Are you really going to confiscate property? If it's for me, you don't have to do this. Chu Qingwang plainly says not to flatter yourself. I was planning to confiscate the Hong family's property anyway. Wen Zan is slightly embarrassed and a little disappointed. So it wasn't for me? But your highness doing this will cause misunderstandings. People will think I'm retaliating against the Hong family for you. Chu Qingwang puts down the book and begins to question Wen Zan. Then why did you take those slaps? Don't lie to me. Wen Zan smiles. Although my martial arts skills are not as good as your highness, I still have the ability to protect myself. I took the hit to give the Wen family a handle. Your highness can use this handle to punish the Wen family. A few slaps in exchange for Wen Li. Taking a beating is worth it. As he speaks, he kneels down and asks for punishment from your highness. Chu Qingwang simply scolds him lightly. You're a slippery one too. You even dare to use me. Then she says, you're not the only one who schemed against me tonight. The other party even deployed assassins. Want to put me in a deadly situation? Wen Zhansho was shocked. Someone even wants to kill the princess? Chu Qingwang slowly explained. The other party wants to kill two birds with one stone. If something happens to me in the Wen family, your father can't escape responsibility either. My getting rid of the Ministry of Personnel is just cutting off one of his arms. The news quickly reached the Hong residence, and everyone was shocked and anxious. They couldn't even hold their chopsticks steadily. The Imperial Guards stood in rows, surrounding the residence layer by layer. Chu Qingwang, on horseback, gave a command. Action! The crazy princess directly searches the house, and even dares to hit the third prince who came to plead. The other party wanted to bring in the Empress Dowager as a savior. But the news reached the emperor's ears first. During the encirclement, Hong Chengai led the guards of the residence out to reason. Chu Qingwang only said, I am ordered to confiscate the house. Does Minister Hong want to resist the imperial decree? Fu Ba also took out the imperial talisman and golden decree. Chu Qingwang didn't explain further. The servants of the Han residence still wanted to resist. When both sides were on the verge of drawing swords, a voice came. The third prince, Chu Tianyan, rode his horse quickly. Seventh sister. Was this late-night house raid approved by the emperor? Minister Hong sees his backer has arrived, saying he's upright and selfless. The eldest princess not only came, but also brought so many troops. Does she want to massacre the minister's residence? Chu Qingwang didn't explain much. Just told the soldiers that if they voluntarily laid down their weapons, she would spare their lives. Hesitating, wanting to retreat, Chu Tianyan said, this prince will not spare you. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Qingwang's whip lashed out on Chu Tianyan's horse's leg. With a sharp neigh, the horse's hooves reared up high. Chu Tianyan lost his balance and fell from the horse. Chu Qingwang showed no mercy, and emphasized again, resistors will be punished with the family. The guards could no longer withstand Chu Qingwang's pressure, and threw down their weapons, kneeling and begging for mercy. Chu Tianyan knew he couldn't control the situation. He hurriedly told his servants to report to the Empress Dowager. At the same time, the emperor also received the news. He didn't expect Chu Qingwang to first raid the Ministry of Personnel's residence, a position that even he dared not move rashly. The political situation in the court is intricate. One move affects the whole situation. The commander of the Imperial Guards asked the emperor if he wanted to send someone to stop the eldest princess. But the emperor said no. Moreover, he also instructed the commander of the Imperial Guards to have men guard the 9 gates. No one is allowed to enter or leave the palace tonight. The commander of the Imperial Guards obeyed and took his leave. It seems that the emperor is tacitly supporting the eldest princess's actions. The emperor is secretly pleased. In recent years, the Hong family, with the Empress Dowager as support, has made a lot of money. He has always wanted to get rid of the Hong family, but dared not act rashly due to the balance of power in the court. Chu Qingwang may be a lucky star. Only she dares to do these things so unscrupulously. The princess rejected the request of the male consorts to share her bed, but specifically asked the shadow guard beside her to sleep with her. Unexpectedly, the shadow guard who obeys her commands during the day started to get handsy in the middle of the night. After the princess fell asleep, he sealed her sleeping acupoint. Just half an hour ago, Chu Qingwang swiftly raided the third prince's residence, not only destroying one of the third prince's wings, but also venting some frustration for Wen Zan. Wen Zan thanked the eldest princess for her protection, and expressed his intention to dote on to do what a male consort should do. Fu Ba, standing by, was extremely jealous, silently cursing him for not knowing his place. But Chu Qingwang didn't accept Wen Zan's behavior as a male consort, telling him to prepare well for moving in, and not think too much about other things. While saying that, she called Fu Ba over to drink medicine. Fu felt a warm current in his heart. Without hesitation, he picked up the bowl and drank it all in one gulp. Wen Zan, seeing this, retreated respectfully. Letting your highness rest well. Chu Qingwang stared at Wen Zan's back, pondering. What should a male consort be like? An image flashed through her mind. But she didn't have that kind of thought right now. She just turned her head to tell Fu Ba to go to sleep. In the silence of the night, Fu Ba was still holding Chu Qingwang, sleeping soundly. A moment later, Fu Ba opened his eyes, quickly tapping Chu Qingwang's sleep acupoint. Then carefully covered her with the quilt, thinking the princess shouldn't wake up for a while. After that, Fu Ba lightning fast flew out of the window. After a few flashes, Fu Ba appeared in the third prince's Jin Wang mansion. At this time, Chu Tianyan was exuding a low pressure. When Chu Qingwang raided the Shangshu mansion, he wanted to send someone to the palace to ask the Empress Dowager for help. But the palace gates were locked. No one is allowed in or out. But we can't use the prince's mansion servants. Otherwise, if we're not careful, Chu Shengtu will falsely accuse us of treason, and it's over. Under duress, he can only abandon the 7 ministers and choose to play it safe. But he vowed through gritted teeth that he would never coexist with Chu Huang without the support of the 7th third prince. The Minister of Right's family fortune was confiscated. Everyone in the Han family was also imprisoned. At this moment, Princess Qi is moving. Chu Tianyan, don't be too impulsive. Since things have already come to this, we should think about how to remedy the situation. She suggested that they could act at the poetry gathering in the suburbs in a while. First, get rid of the shadow guard Fu Ba beside Chu Qingwang. At that time, the crowd will be chaotic. Find an opportunity to arrange for Yahi to have some kind of relationship with Fu Ba. Then, just wait for her to personally deal with Fu Ba. But Chu Tianyan felt it wasn't that simple. Because Chu Qingwang's temperament has changed drastically recently. She is no longer as fond of Fu Ba as she once was. But Qi felt that Chu Qingwang was inherently volatile. As long as they can make her misunderstand Fu Ba, they won't have to worry about not being able to get rid of Fu Ba. As long as Fu Ba is gone, dealing with Chu Qingwang will be easy. Chu Tianyan thought it feasible after consideration. Then he turned to Qi and started speaking sweet words. When this king ascends the throne in the future, you will be the empress of the world. Qi felt her heart flutter. She urged His Highness to retire to bed quickly. Because Qi's backing is the Prince of Zhenbei. The power of the regional princes is too great. They must be eliminated sooner or later. The day's events left Chu Tianyan particularly exhausted. He fell asleep thinking about it. A moment later, Fu Ba also arrived at the princess's mansion. But just as he flashed into the room, he heard Chu Qingwang's voice from behind. Where are you going in the middle of the night? Fu Ba hastily knelt down and admitted his mistake. This subordinate went to Prince Jin's mansion to do something. Chu Qingwang thought to herself. Leaving without permission is only considered dereliction of duty. But attacking someone's sleep acupoint, that is a heinous crime. It deserves severe punishment. But then she relented. She only punished Fu Ba to kneel there. Fu Ba was also slightly surprised. He made such a big mistake. And he's only being punished with kneeling? Your Highness used to be much more gentle. Chu Qingwang secretly rejoiced after hearing Fu Ba's thoughts. Gentle? But he didn't say what he did at Prince Jin's mansion. Probably just to retaliate against Chu Tian. Thinking of this, Chu Qingwang gave Fu Kang half of the bed again. Let him kneel for half an hour and then come up to sleep. Adamon, don't have thoughts you shouldn't. Looking at the half of the bed that was empty next to the princess, he was struggling internally whether to lie down. But in the next second, his body honestly made a decision. Looking at the sleeping princess next to him, her skin was white and flawless. Her long eyelashes revealed gentleness. Fu Kang's cheeks flushed slightly. Never mind it. Her Highness said I could sleep here. After a moment, Fu Kang's hand was on Chu Qingwang's waist. Unknowingly, he fell asleep hugging the princess. Chu Qingwang, who noticed it, suddenly opened her eyes. Then smiled and fell back asleep. Early morning. Chu Qingwang got up early and went to the palace. There are still big things to do. She brought the confiscated property from the Minister of Revenue and walked straight into the main hall. According to the salary of a second-rank official of the dynasty, adding all kinds of awards and rewards each year, it's only about 1,200 taels of silver. However, the items seized from Minister Hong's house amounted to 700,000 taels of silver, as much as a prefecture's annual tax revenue. At this moment, Hong Chengai was also brought in by the guards. Trembling and pale. What else could he say? Boxes of irrefutable evidence were before his eyes. Hong Chengai naturally couldn't refute it. He stammered that he had nothing to say, only begging the emperor for. Before he could finish, the emperor interrupted him. If you have nothing to say, what are you begging for? After saying that, he ordered the guards to drag him away and imprison him in a death row cell, to await trial in the autumn. After dealing with Hong Chengai, the emperor seriously told everyone the right to investigate corrupt officials. Anyone who dares to obstruct will be punished as accomplices. The officials all felt increasingly uneasy, but they could only say, the emperor is wise. Suddenly, the emperor noticed that the third prince was absent. He casually asked why he hadn't attended court. At this time, the eunuch next to him whispered to the emperor. Something happened at Prince Jin's residence. Seeing him stuttering, the emperor frowned and asked, what happened? The eunuch whispered to the emperor. Prince Jin killed his consort. The emperor's expression changed rapidly. A moment later, Chu Tianyan was summoned to the emperor's study. He knelt on the ground, trembling, and argued. Your son truly lost his senses. The emperor was filled with grief and anger. Chu Tianyan's princess consort was the legitimate daughter of the prince of Zhenbei. Now, she was personally killed by Chu Tianyan. How could he explain this to the prince of Zhenbei? Clenched his teeth. He clearly went to sleep with his princess consort last night. But she disappeared this morning. It turned out she was sleeping with the guard captain. The scene was extremely scandalous. Chu Tianyan, who was wearing a green hat in a fit of anger, accidentally killed his own princess consort. Chu Qingwang felt that this matter was definitely related to Fu Ba. Asked him if he did it. Fu Ba admitted it without hesitation. The prince of Jin's princess consort and Chu Tianyan were birds of a feather. Now that Chu Tianyan got rid of her, Chu Qingwang internally praised, well done. Fu Ba's trick of using a borrowed knife to kill was played smoothly without bloodshed. Previously, Chu Tianyan wanted Chu Qingwang to be harmed in the Wen residence, taking the opportunity to frame Wen Xingyun in a double-edged sword plan. Fu Ba's actions could be considered using the enemy's method to return the favor. While talking, they arrived outside the emperor's study. The eunuch announced, allowing Chu Qingwang to enter. Chu Qingwang handed the emperor the confiscated account books, and she also organized a list of officials involved with the Lu tribe. Chu Qingwang's swift and thorough confiscation made the emperor sigh in admiration. This matter was truly perfect. She deserves the position of eldest princess in the Dark Pavilion. The position of Minister of Revenue is now vacant. Is there anyone you would like to recommend? Chu Qingwang directly said that she preferred Wen Zan lately. The emperor didn't react for a moment. Who is Wen Zan? Then he heard Chu Qingwang say. The emperor then realized. Previously, Chu Qingwang liked Feng Jinji and was solely focused on the Feng family. Now she has taken a liking to Wen Zan. Wants to support the Wen family? However, the Wen family's foundation is weak. We can deal with them later when their appetite grows. The emperor immediately gave Chu Qingwang face. He agreed to let Wen Xingyun replace the Minister of Revenue. Chu Tianyan, who was next to him, found it absurd. Is it for Wen Zan? She's clearly doing it for the forces of Consort Duan's party. Suddenly, he heard Chu Qingwang mention the assassination attempt she suffered at the Wen family's residence. Chu Tianyan was startled. Could it be that she knows something? The emperor anxiously asked Qingwang if she was injured. Have you found out who the assassin is? No. Chu Qingtu, Your Majesty, don't worry. Your son can probably guess who it is. Saying this, he glances meaningfully at Chu Tianyan. The little shadow guard has many rivals in love. All 4 male consorts of the eldest princess want to climb into her bed. Everyone begs the eldest princess to share her favor equally. But the eldest princess only gives special privileges to the little shadow guard. Not only does she let him hold her to sleep every day, but she also has clothes tailor-made for him. On the 3rd day, the Hong family was being searched for. Overnight, the 3rd prince's side. Consort Feng is as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. She doesn't know how the emperor will punish Chu Tianyan. Consort Feng suddenly thought of Feng Jinji. Things wouldn't be in this state now. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but ask Prime Minister Feng. Why did Feng Jinji suddenly provoke Chu Qingtu? What does consort mean? How can you blame Jinji for this? That Chu Qingwang is just a madwoman. Consort Feng no longer held back. She stated bluntly that things went out of control. Starting from Jinji. Prime Minister Feng felt sorry for his son. For Jinji to enter the princess's mansion was already a grievance against himself. It was okay when he was favored before. But now he is not favored and is treated badly by the eldest princess. Now that something happened, he's being blamed. Fortunately, the eldest princess has already divorced Jinji. We might as well bring him back sooner. Consort Feng blurted out. My tone was a bit rushed. Influence the eldest princess. At this moment, a maid suddenly reported that there was news from the imperial study. Chu Tianian was punished with 30 strokes of the court staff and demoted to Prince Jin. This news also reached Chu Qingwang's ears. She just gave a faint hum, signaling Fuba to sit down and drink the medicine. The follow-up handling will depend on the Ministry of Justice and the Emperor's intentions. Just as Fuba sat down and picked up the bowl, a rustling sound came from the door. Chu Qingwang looked up. The 4 consorts of the back courtyard walked in together, all of them handsome and outstanding in appearance. It was pleasing to the eye at a glance. But, what are they trying to do? Wen Gang spoke first. This humble servant has witnessed the elegance of Her Royal Highness the Princess, and is deeply impressed by Her Highness's strength. As consorts, we should pay our respects to Your Highness. Just hoping for Your Highness's favor. Bestow some love occasionally. Fu Ba, who was drinking medicine, couldn't help but feel a sense of emotional crisis. Chu Qingwang glanced at Fu Ba and said, "Take them back." Hong Yu instantly put on a pitiful, scheming expression. "I am an orphan without parents. Your Highness bought me from slave traders. And ensured I had food and clothing. But you never said I'd be neglected upon entering the manor." As she spoke, the wind lifted Hong Yu's flowing robes. Chu Qingwang naturally knew the goods. That material was non-a jiaoshao, worth 1,000 gold. It said that only 1 bolt can be obtained in several years. Chu Qingwang couldn't help but look at Hong Yu seriously. "You say you are a penniless orphan. Where did this dress come from?" After speaking, she pointed at the other 3 male consorts. Wen Gang's is Shujin, of which only a few bolts are offered as tribute each year. Shen Chongjin's is song brocade, said to have lost its technique. Qi Ling's is a tale of gold. Amon's is a tale of silk, heavenly silkworm snow robe. Wearing better clothes than aristocratic sons-in-law. You truly make people look at you with new eyes. The male consorts all kneeled down. Give this palace a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, you can all leave. After speaking, Nico unconsciously moved his gaze to Fu Ba again. Fu Ba pointed to himself. The clothes of the subordinates are the uniform dark clothes of the Dark Pavilion Shadow Guard. Elite uniform. Looking at Fu Kang's obedient expression, as if seeking a reward, Chu Qingwang smiled. "It's not good to wear black clothes by my side. Have the people from the Jinghao Jianyi Bureau come over and make 2 sets of clothes for you." Qi Ling said aggrievedly, calling it unfair. Why can Fu Ba get special treatment? Chu Qingwang got up and left, saying, "This is my residence. I can give special treatment to whoever I want." After entering the inner room, Fu Ba asked Chu Qingwang if she wanted to investigate the backgrounds of these gentlemen. Chu Qingwang said no need. These people don't have any ulterior motives. I just want them to say it themselves. However, Feng Jinji doesn't need to stay in the mansion. While speaking, Chu Qingwang did not hesitate to pick up a pen and write a letter of divorce. Several male consorts were also whispering. Qi Ling couldn't help but ask Wen Zan. "Your Highness just caused a stir for you. Why don't I see you getting special treatment? The royal family is the most ruthless. His Highness's favor towards me is nothing more than a fleeting moment of glory." A maid suddenly reports that Ma requests an audience. Qi Ling suddenly becomes interested, wondering if Wen Zan Feng Jinji will regain favor. After Feng Jinji enters, Chu Qingwang says, "You've come at a good time. Take this." While speaking, Fu Ba hands Feng Jinji an envelope. Feng Jinji is shocked. It's actually a letter of divorce. He is not convinced. Chu Qingwang is so ruthless. Why? But the situation is pressing. He must win back Chu Qingwang's favor. Feng Jinji makes his final plea. He kneels and begs Chu Qingwang to give him another chance. But Feng Jinji vows inwardly that this temporary humiliation will be repaid many times over in the future. This is arguably the pinnacle of humiliation. The direct son of the Prime Minister's mansion, on the main street, takes 3 steps and prostrates every 9 steps, becoming the laughingstock of the whole city. And all of this burden he is bearing is to get the princess to forgive him. However, although the princess agreed to forgive him, Feng Jinji knelt to beg when he received the divorce letter. Chu Qingwang gave him another chance. What he said was sincere. But in his heart he vowed that this humiliation would be repaid double in the future. Chu Qingwang directly told Fu Ba to throw him out. After Feng Jinji rolled down the steps, he lay there motionless. The 4 male consorts in the room discussed animatedly. Why isn't he moving at all? Could he be dead? Or did he break his brain and pass out? Wen Gang suddenly brought up the topic. How long do you think it will take? For a moment, the atmosphere became lively again. Some said half an hour. Hong Yu even started betting that he would wake up soon. Chu Qinglong suddenly walked over. You're in the mood to bet 100 taels? Have you figured out how to explain the clothes on your body? Hong Yu stammered, saying he picked them up. At this time, Feng Jinji also woke up. He knew that if he couldn't stay by Chu Qinglong's side, then the third prince and the Feng family would be finished. The situation was pressing. He had to compromise now. He had to win back Chu Qinglong's heart. Chu Qinglong also noticed Feng Jinji kneeling outside the door. She asked if he wanted to make amends. Feng Jinji said yes, and begged the prince to give him another chance. Chu Qinglong's expression softened, but still said coldly, I will give you one chance. As expected, Chu Qinglong was just trying to get my attention. Just coax her a little and... However, the joy lasted only 3 seconds. Only to hear Chu Qinglong say, take the letter of divorce from my palace. Every 3 steps, kneel every 9 steps. If you can kneel to the outside of the Feng family's gate, I will forgive you. Just like that. Feng Jinji, in front of everyone, performed the 3 steps. 1 kneel, 9 steps 1 bow, walking towards the Feng family. The surrounding people watching the spectacle. That a dignified Feng family member has fallen to such a state. Perhaps he exhausted the patience of the eldest princess. All this is because of you. Feng Jinji gritted his teeth and walked, listening to the discussions of the surrounding people. Various words made him feel extremely humiliated. Today he has become the laughingstock of the whole city. But now, the third prince has broken both of his arms. If he can't use Chu Qinglong again, then there will be no chance to turn over. At this time, a luxurious carriage passed by. The person inside the carriage is Ling Jing, the direct son of the Ling family's second branch. The Ling family is the maternal family of consort Duan. He naturally also heard about the eldest princess divorcing Feng Jinji. Now we see Feng Jin on the road. Before, concubine Duan wanted to marry Chu Qinglong to him. That way, they'd be doubly related and easier to control. And now Feng Jin has conveniently vacated his position. After all, Chu Qinglong was previously wholeheartedly devoted to Feng Jin. Fu Ba brings Chu Qinglong a cup of water and asks her. Hearing Chu Qinglong say she does plan to, Fu Ba has some ulterior motives. Feng Jin was often disrespectful to Her Highness. How can he be forgiven so easily? Then he hears Chu Qinglong say, I'm just sparing his life. This princess manner still can't accommodate him. Fu Ba's expression then relaxes a bit. Chu Qing orders people to pack up all of Feng Jin's belongings and send them to the Feng family, saying that she has forgiven him. From now on, men and women marry separately and have nothing to do with each other. Fu Ba's face is visibly happy. He agrees, saying his subordinate will take care of it right away. When Feng Jin returns to the Prime Minister's residence, his face is pale and he looks disheveled. Madame Feng cries in distress. The eldest princess is too much. But Prime Minister Feng asks sternly. What happened? Weren't you supposed to appease the eldest princess? Feng Jin explains frantically, saying that he has already sought reconciliation. Chu Qinglong's condition was that he kneel all the way from the princess manor to the Feng family. Only then could he be forgiven. As soon as Feng Jinji finished speaking, the head steward from the princess manor brought news, saying that the eldest princess had decided to forgive young Master Feng. In the past, young Master Feng entered the princess manor. Now a letter of divorce returns freedom to young Master Feng. From now on, men marry, women marry, each goes their own way. Now, all of young Master Feng's belongings are being sent back. Feng Jinji only felt a wave of despair. He was willing to be tormented by Chu Qinglong like this, just to stay by her side. Now, Chu Qinglong is instead using returning his freedom as a means to chase him away. Feng Jinji's ears were ringing, recalling the moments when he was being pointed and gossiped about. Everything went black before his eyes. He collapsed to the ground, devoid of strength. Madame Feng hastily called for servants to help the eldest young master into the courtyard. The Prime Minister's face was extremely grim. He lowered his voice and ordered the doors to be closed. He vowed to be irreconcilable with Chu Qinglong. A domineering princess suffers a setback. She kicked her rival's leg. No matter whose heir you are, you must kneel. Unexpectedly, this heir turns out to be a crazy yandere. The princess's violent personality actually aroused his desire to conquer. Chu Qinglong spread the word about Feng Jinji's body throughout the entire imperial city. The maids around consort Feng reported the matter immediately. Chu Tianfeng knew his opportunity had come. Chu Tianyan suddenly lost Minister Hong. And the Prince of Zhenbei, his 2 arms. The Feng family has become a laughingstock today. It would be harder than ascending to heaven to rise again. But he couldn't understand what Chu Qingwang was doing. Replacing Minister Hong's position. How did it become Wen Xingyun? Consort Feng advised him not to be angry. Aren't you clear about Chu Qingwang's rogue nature? Anyway, Wen Xingyun is one of us. However, Chu Tianfeng was worried that Chu Qingwang is so undisciplined. How can she be used by us? Consort Feng was quite confident, saying she had her own arrangements. In a pavilion somewhere in the palace, Chu Qingwang arrived as scheduled. She didn't know why her mother consort called her to the palace. Was it about Wen Xingyun or Feng Jinji? Suddenly, someone called her from behind. Her Royal Highness, the eldest princess. Chu Qingwang turned around and saw a feminine and handsome man. The other person asked if she was waiting for concubine Duan. Chu Qingwang remembered. This is Ling Jing, the legitimate son of the Ling family's 2nd branch. He's also Chu Qingwang's cousin. Ling Jing walked directly to Chu Qingwang and said, "The Empress won't come. My aunt wants to betroth the eldest princess to me. I want to meet the eldest princess in advance." Chu Qingwang disliked his attitude. As if everything was under his control. Knowing that I am the eldest princess. Shouldn't the path be under my feet? Ling Jing's expression changed slightly. Then he composedly bowed. "Greetings, your eldest princess. But I must remind the eldest princess. I must now act according to the etiquette between a subject and a ruler. But will the eldest princess be passing through the Ling family's gate in the future?" These words carried a threatening tone. However, before he could finish his sentence, Fu Ba County Lord delivered a fierce kick, striking him behind the knee. Ling Jing let out a cry and knelt directly on the ground. His words just now were truly insulting to Chu Qingwang. Chu Qingwang looked at him with mockery. Passing through the Ling family's gate? Why don't you go look in the mirror first? If you don't want to end up like Feng Jinji, then be more obedient. As she said this, Chu Qingwang stood up to leave. Before leaving, she told him to make way. Reflect here for half an hour. Fu Ba impolitely pressed his acupoints. As soon as Chu Qingwang left, Ling not only wasn't angry, but even showed a perverted smile. Of noble status, with a violent temperament, and beautiful appearance. Conquering such a woman, isn't it challenging? The younger sister blocks the older sister's carriage in the street. But the older sister shows no mercy, directly ordering the coachman to keep going. After coming out of concubine Duan's palace, Chu Qingwang found it amusing. Ling Jinggang's inner thoughts were all heard clearly by her, saying that women with violent temperaments and beautiful appearances are more fulfilling to conquer. Chu Qingwang laughed once. It seems the Ling family is getting carried away. These years, they have concubine Duan in the palace, and hold 300,000 troops outside the palace. Chu Qingwang immediately made a flag. This palace wants the Ling family's 300,000 silver armor army. Fu Ba directly accepted the order, saying he would go kill Ling Ancheng. Chu Qingwang told him to get up, and not to be so quick to kill people. This palace doesn't want his rotten life yet. While speaking, the carriage suddenly stopped. Chu Qingwang frowned and asked what happened. Fu Ba lifted the curtain. Chu Yiling weakly called 7th sister from outside. Chu Qingwang asked her indifferently if she needed something. Chu Yiling directly blocked in front of the carriage. 7th sister, please be merciful and spare 3rd Imperial brother's life. This action caused the passing officials and nobles to look sideways, actually making her elder sister kneel to her. Is there still law and order? Chu Yiling appeared pitiful, but inside, she was secretly delighted. She wanted to see how Chu Qingwang would respond to being forced to make her imperial sister kneel in front of so many people. Unexpectedly, Chu Qingwang didn't respond at all. She just told the coachman to return to the manor. Chu Yiling panicked, but she gambled on Chu Qingwang's courage to go over her body. However, the carriage didn't hesitate at all and charged towards her. Chu Yiling hurriedly got up and dodged. The carriage sped away. The dust caused Chu Yiling to cough. However, the next second, she secretly thought things were bad. Opening her palm, she found the center of her palm had turned black. That poisoned needle was originally intended to deal with Chu Qingwang. But unexpectedly, she accidentally pricked herself. Chan Yu also panicked, and immediately poured out a pill for Chu Yiling to take. Chu Yiling's tone was cold. It is I who am not afraid. Actually, when she blocked Chu Qingwang's carriage, Chu Qingwang noticed her. There was something wrong with her trembling hands. Later, she didn't bother to entangle with her to avoid more trouble. The maid next to her began to offer ideas. advising the sixth princess to avoid the limelight for now. Anyway, Chu Qingwang has offended so many people. Let others deal with her first. Chu Yiling felt that all the officials avoided Chu Qingwang like a venomous snake. No one dared to deal with her easily. The maid reminded her that the upcoming poetry gathering would continue to make enemies. The dignitaries believed that someone wanted to deal with her. When Chu Qingwang returned to the mansion, the 4 male servants were still kneeling neatly in the room. Chu Qingwang saw that they had been kneeling for so long, but they still looked relaxed. She ignored them and walked towards the inner room. Hong Yu was no longer calm. If he didn't explain, he was afraid he would have to kneel until tomorrow morning. He couldn't help but call out, "Your Highness." Chu Qingwang turned her head to listen to Hong Yu's explanation. Shen Chongjin is the owner of a silk shop. Our clothes were all given to us by him. They're free. Shen Chongjin coughed twice and said the silk shop was left by his deceased mother. We, the servants, don't want to lose Seventh Highness' face. So we can't dress too shabbily. However, no one would believe these words. Especially Chu Qingtu. But she didn't say much. She directly told them to get up. Anyway, she'll have her ways to figure it out in the future. The secrets on these people. Then she turned around and told Wen Zan. Guo's Kumi flowing stream. You and I will go to the poetry gathering together. In the blink of an eye, it's the day for the poetry gathering. Some wealthy children arrived at the poetry gathering early. A moment later, Chu Qingwang's carriage also arrived. Wen Zan helped her out of the carriage and whispered a reminder to Chu Qingtu. Today's scene seems a bit dangerous. Your Highness, you must pay attention to your personal safety. Chu Qingwang glanced around. Chu Yiling. Feng Jinji is also here. Having lost so much face, he still dares to come out. It seems that during this time, everyone is here to see a show. I just wonder who will step forward first today. Ling Shui, the legitimate daughter of the Ling family, took the lead in stepping forward. Isn't the eldest princess fond of having people stand in the way when she speaks? Do all the people present today? Each of them has to salute His Highness. Since she said so, Chu Qingtu will naturally satisfy her. This princess indeed likes people to speak while kneeling. Ling Shui's face changed. She blurted out in anger. Before she could finish speaking, she was interrupted by Ling. Ling Jing is Ling Shui's older brother. He then protected Ling Shui behind him and advised Chu Qingtu. Today is a rather pleasant poetry meeting. Your Highness, the eldest princess, please don't spoil the atmosphere. Although it's advice, there's a hint of arrogance in his words. Ling Shui gritted her teeth and secretly muttered. The Ling family controls 200,000 troops. Even the emperor is courteous to them. At this time, Chu Yiling came out to smooth things over. Saying Miss Ling did not intentionally offend. Seventh sister, please be generous and don't argue with Miss Ling. Otherwise, concubine Duan in the palace will not have it easy, right? The others present echoed her words. Sixth princess is right. Miss Ling didn't do it on purpose. Why should the eldest princess argue with a weak woman? It was clearly Ling Shui who offended first. Yet everyone is now advising Chu Qingwang to be magnanimous. If it was a slip of the tongue, Miss Ling should have. However, until now, Miss Ling also hasn't said a word of apology. This kind of scene is also a piece of cake for Chu Qingwang. She spoke with reason and vigor. Disrespecting superiors. The Ling family, possessing military power, disregards imperial authority. Do you all think this is right? The powerful families who were still insolent a second ago immediately knelt down and called her father. The domineering princess absolutely suppressed them with power. 2 sentences were enough to make them not dare to raise their heads. At the poetry gathering, even the people from the Mi family, who had been dealt with by Chu Qingwang, came. Some came up to make things difficult. Some fanned the flames. Some followed the crowd and accused Chu Qingwang. The voices of the many against Chu Qingwang. It was just a small scene for her. She didn't bother to win them over. Naturally, she wouldn't explain anything to them. She directly used the prestige of the eldest princess. This princess is the eldest princess conferred by the emperor. The Ling family dares to disregard imperial authority just because they possess military power? If any of you are also dissatisfied, this princess can take you to the Yuxian Hall to argue. The accusation of disregarding imperial authority is not something they can easily bear. People in the crowd were already starting to tremble with fear, begging the eldest princess to forgive them. Ling Jing also stopped being so tough, saying that Ling Shui was wrong. As an elder brother, he also had responsibility. I am willing to accept the eldest princess's punishment. Since you've said so much, Chu Du Huang will naturally not be polite. Then kneel down and beg my forgiveness. And then slap yourself 20 times. Chu Yiling felt a burst of pride. Chu Qing actually doesn't even spare her own mother's families. Close relatives. This saves me from going against her. Right now, all I have to do is instigate these people. Immediately afterward, Chu Yiling began to instigate. If young Master Ling is humiliated here today, Consort Duan and General Ling will probably be unhappy. The people next to her began to take Chu Yiling's side, saying she was considerate, unlike the 7th princess, who was unforgiving when she was right. Chu Qingwang naturally knew what they were thinking, but she didn't care about their opinions at all. Chu Qingwang began to take out a whip from behind. I've been itching for some action lately. Wen Gang, what do you say about finding someone to whip? I think confiscating someone's property would be more appropriate. First, confiscating silver will make the emperor happy. Maybe the princess will even be further ennobled. Second, it can teach those brainless things a lesson. Everyone was shocked to hear this. The scene in the Yu residence is still vivid. Her decisive and swift action broke no delay. For a moment, everyone began to kneel and flatter in unison. Her Royal Highness the First Princess is mighty, domineering, and unparalleled. Even Ling Jing is trembling with fear. This first princess, in her rage, is capable of anything. Feng Jinji, however, despised these people, silently cursing them as cowardly rats. But he has consistently not been involved in today's events. Ling Shui is also trembling with fear at this moment, asking Her Royal Highness the First Princess to reduce her punishment. Chu Yiling begins to smooth things over again. With this princess and 7th sister here, you might not have your fill of fun. I'll go inside with 7th sister first. Have fun, everyone. Having said that, she turns around and calls out to Chu Qingwang. Chu Qingwang doesn't know what tricks Chu Yiling has up her sleeve, but she cooperates and follows her. Chu Yiling suddenly asks, 7th sister, do you like Wenzan now? Chu Qingwang's face is expressionless. She doesn't answer. Young Master Wen seems good. But 7th sister should be able to distinguish between pearls and fish eyes, right? How can the Wen family's foundation compare to the Prime Minister's legitimate son? Suddenly, a slightly sarcastic voice enters her ears. Isn't this the first princess's consort? Why are you here alone? Don't tell me you want to salvage your relationship with the first princess? That day on Chong Street, the whole city saw it. How can you still have the face to go out? Chu Yiling was furious when she heard that. What nonsense are you talking about? Chu Qingwang stood quietly outside the pavilion. Her eyes met Feng Jinji's, the sister who seemed gentle and weak on the surface, but was exceptionally insidious and vicious inside. Just because she couldn't get her sister's support, she repeatedly tried to kill her. Unexpectedly, she suffered the consequences herself in the end. At the flowing poem gathering, Chu Yiling used the excuse of having a private chat with Chu Qingwang, but actually took her to see a show, wanting to arouse Chu Qingwang's pity with this, and rekindle her old feelings for Feng Jinji. However, this kind of lousy trick was seen through by Chu Qingwang at a glance. She walked over calmly. Several influential disciples saw the princess and greeted her with trepidation. Then they pretended to bid farewell and left. But the group did not go down the mountain. Instead, they ran to the dense forest on the mountain. This also caught Chu Qingwang's attention. Chu Yiling smiled innocently. I made my sister laugh. I didn't expect these people to be so snobbish. Snobbish. Even if he's not the Fu Ma, he's still the eldest son of the Prime Minister's residence. How low can it go? When Wang walked into the pavilion, Chu Qingwang heard from the bushes. A group of large snakes not far away were approaching the pavilion. Each of them had a sachet hanging. She understood instantly. The act of framing her as inferior didn't work. So, they directly had someone drive poisonous snakes to kill me. Chu Qingwang asked calmly. Do you and young Master Feng both carry sachets to repel insects? Chu Yiling said there are more snakes in the mountains, so she prepared some. 7th sister doesn't like the smell? Chu Qingwang calmly turned and walked out of the pavilion, saying it's not that she doesn't like it. It's just that these sachets might lose their effectiveness today. Be careful. Chu Yiling's heart skipped a beat, calling out 7th sister. Did she discover something? However, before she could think too much, several poisonous snakes had already crawled close, raising their heads and hissing at her. Chu Yiling was shocked, hastily hiding beside Feng Ji. However, more and more poisonous snakes were crawling towards them. Chu Yiling didn't understand why the sachet was ineffective. She yelled, 7th sister, save me. Chu Qingwang turned back and mocked. Did you miscalculate again? Chu Yiling was still confused. These snakes should be attacking Chu Qingwang. Why do they seem to not see her now? Chu Qingwang didn't pay them any more attention. She turned around and said, a small lesson for today. I hope you remember it well. Then, without looking back, she snapped her fingers. Hope you all have fun. Xiao Yigong encountered another love rivalry. The 4 male concubines in the backyard didn't make him feel pressured. But the sudden appearance of the young man made him feel threatened. When everyone was drinking tea and writing poetry at the poetry gathering, they suddenly heard Chu Yiling shouting for help in the distance. Everyone's expressions began to panic. That sounds like the voice of the 6th princess. Did she provoke the eldest princess again? Wen Zan also frowned. Said, it shouldn't be. Because I heard the 6th princess shouting about snakes. But I didn't hear the eldest princess's voice. Could she be in danger? He rushed up the mountain like lightning. Wen Zan also hurriedly walked up the mountain. The eldest princess is the emperor's most beloved daughter. If anything happens to her, no one present will have a good time. Everyone's expressions changed. However, they hadn't gone far when they saw Chu Yiling stagger into view. She kept crying for help. There are snakes. She was so frightened she didn't even have the strength to stand. Feng Jinji, who was behind her, also looked terrified. Ya hurriedly went up to help Chu Yiling. When Fu Ba met Chu Qingwang was unharmed and was walking down the mountain with a calm expression. When she was almost at the foot of the mountain, she whispered, "Go play." As if the snakes could understand. They all scattered. Fu Ba was surprised. It seems the master also knows this beast-taming technique. At this time, Wen Zan also came forward and asked with a worried expression, "Is your highness all right?" The 6th princess said there were snakes. Chu Qing glanced indifferently at the distraught Chu Yiling. Where are the snakes? Isn't she just hallucinating? As soon as she finished speaking, several more aristocratic children rushed down from the mountain in a panic. They were also shouting help. Snakes. A group of people came running down. They kept saying the snakes were chasing them. Seeing this scene, Wen Zan naturally didn't believe Chu. So, apart from the eldest princess, does everyone who went up the mountain have symptoms? Chu Qingwang didn't say much. Only told everyone to continue having fun. I won't disturb your good mood. Turning around, she also told Fu Kang to check on the identities of those young masters she just tripped. I'll settle the score with them later. A moment later, the carriage stopped outside the eldest princess's mansion. Fu Kang helped Chu Qingwang out of the carriage. The three's attention was drawn to a young man. That young man also had delicate features and a refined air. He respectfully greeted the eldest princess. Chu Lingchuan greets the eldest princess. Chu Qingwang sized him up for a few moments and asked, "Are you Chu Lingchuan, the one who knows medicine and does business?" The young man replied in the affirmative. Chu Qingwang's expression gradually softened. Smiling, she invited him to enter the mansion together. Fu Kang frowned, feeling that this young man's origins were unclear. Why did your highness let him into the mansion like that? The little shadow guard's spoiled nature begins to emerge, verbally denying favoritism, but inwardly extremely jealous, full of hostility towards the newly arrived young attendant, afraid the other will steal his bed. However, what he doesn't know is that the princess brought this young man for him. Chu Lingchuan gives Chu Qingtu a deep bow upon entering. Greetings, little princess. May the princess live long. Chu Qingwang's expression is kind. Rise. You came quickly. Chu Lingchuan says he rushed over as soon as he received the urgent report. Chu Qingwang was originally the little princess of Dongling. However, it was calculated that at 18, so they arranged for her soul to leave and be reborn to avoid disaster. Therefore, her soul traveled to the body of the 7th princess of Ziki. When the emperor of Dongling learned that his little princess is now in Ziki, he immediately decided to go to Ziki with the 2nd prince. Chu Qing thought for a moment and said, "Let 2nd brother arrive in Ziki before July. Because I made a promise to the emperor of Ziki that within 3 months, Dongling will send envoys to reduce Ziki's tribute." After saying all this, Chu Qing points outside and says that she called Chu Lingchuan in for other matters. My shadow guard has a bit of a problem. I want you to come over and take a look at him. Chu Lingchuan looked suspiciously at the door, thinking to himself that a shadow guard could make his highness so concerned. Then he heard Chu Qingwang talk about Fu Ba's condition. His pulse is stable, but he gets hot all over when he falls asleep at night. He doesn't when he sleeps hugging me. What's going on? Chu Lingchuan was momentarily stunned. Sleeping while hugging his highness? Chu Qingwang then realized what she had said. She blushed and explained that she had taken the initiative to let him sleep on the bed. It wasn't him overstepping. Chu Lingchuan said he would go check on the shadow guard's condition later. But inside, he was feeling turbulent. If those few masters of Dongling knew that their little princess was being taken advantage of by a shadow guard, what kind of death would this shadow guard suffer? The two looked at each other, and the same thought arose in their hearts. If I knew you were staying by His Highness's side with ulterior motives, you would know what it means to wish you were dead. Royal Camp. Chu Yiling is still having nightmares. She screams about snakes in her sleep. Imperial concubine Feng is anxiously pacing back and forth. The imperial physicians are useless. They can't even treat such a small symptom. Just then, a eunuch announces the emperor's arrival. Imperial concubine Feng falls directly before the emperor, begging him to take charge. Yiling and Qingwang both went to participate in the... Yiling saw Qingwang constantly clashing with people. She proactively invited her for a walk on a mountain path. Unexpectedly, Yiling was schemed against by Qingwang. After hearing her story, the emperor frowned and asked in return, "You mean Qingwang caused Yiling to be in her current state? The most ruthless are those in the imperial family. Father and daughter appear harmonious, but in reality, they each have their own agenda. The ambitious eldest princess only wants to rule the world. The emperor is heartless and only wants to use his daughter to make the country rise. Imperial concubine Feng is distorting the truth, saying that Chu Qingwang framed Chu Yiling. The emperor doesn't believe it, but he still summons Chu Qingwang to inquire about what happened. Also summon those sons of meritorious officials to ask. The emperor suddenly feels things are not simple. How is Feng Jinji involved? Chu Qingwang tells everything, including how Chu Yiling and Feng Jinji put on a show for her. There was discontent among the emperors. Feng Jinji was already sent back after being divorced, yet she's still not behaving. Then Chu Qingtu continued to say, although he wasn't fooled, he didn't expect Chu Yiling to have a backup plan. She and Feng Jinji both wore sachets to ward off insects and snakes. They had others release poisonous snakes to create an accident. The emperor was furious. There was such a thing? Chu Qingwang obediently advised her father to not be angry. Chu Yiling is now suffering the consequences of her own actions. Whether it's because of the sachet or what happened, the snakes were chasing after them relentlessly. Now, this is considered reaping what they sow. The emperor naturally wouldn't calm down so easily. He told Qingwang to go back first. He will continue to handle this matter. The emperor still trusted Qingtu more, because Chu Qingwang's personality has always been straightforward. If she wanted to bully Yiling, she wouldn't deliberately go around the mountain. The matter of the sachets will be clear with a simple investigation. But conversely, what is Chu Yiling doing this for? Feng Jinji or Chu Tianyan? Thinking of this, the emperor directly ordered the three managers of the Dark Pavilion to be summoned. After Chu Qingwang left the Imperial Qian camp, she arranged for her father. Go tell the Dark Guards about it. Tell them what happened on the mountain today. What kind of tricks were played? The plot against Chu Yiling. Anyone who dares to plot against her must be prepared to bear the consequences. A moment later, Eunuch Chen, from the emperor, arrived at Consort Feng's Fu Palace to announce the decree. Consort Feng, for failing to properly instruct her daughter, is demoted to Jiaoyi. Effective immediately, Consort Feng Jiaoyi and the sixth princess will move to Qingyan Palace. Without an imperial edict, they are forbidden to step out of Qingyan Palace. Consort Feng was immediately anxious. I'm not going. Why is the emperor demoting me? Is Chu Qing doing this to me deliberately? Eunuch Chen ignored Consort Feng Jiaoyi's argument. He directly waved his hand, ordering people to take Consort Jiaoyi and the sixth princess to Qingyan Palace. Eunuch Chen knew in his heart that the emperor's hopes for Western Qi are all pinned on the seventh princess. Anyone who holds the princess back will suffer a miserable end. Those with any sense would support the princess now. But conversely, if the princess cannot win the emperor's heart, then the cold palace may also be her final resting place. The loyal shadow guard's possessiveness explodes. Seeing someone favored, they start plotting how to kill him. When they heard the princess tell him to take off his clothes, they couldn't control themselves even more. Night. Chu Qingwang was leisurely drinking tea in her room. The butler reported that Prince Kong, Prince Qing, and Prince Rong were requesting an audience. Chu Qingwang naturally knew what these people were here for. It was nothing more than to do with their sons coming to please her, wanting to beg for forgiveness. The other day, the heirs of their families helped Chu Yiling on the mountain to scheme against Chu Qing. After the emperor investigated the truth, he punished the heirs with 50 strokes each. Now, the princes are all afraid that the princess will, in a fit of anger, seek them out again. So they rushed over overnight to curry favor. Unexpectedly, Chu Qingwang decisively refused, saying that she needed to rest and would not see anyone. However, no sooner had the butler left than Hong Yu came uninvited. She entered the room and sweetly said she came to pay her respects to the princess. Fu Bao, seeing his scheming manner was full of hostility. She stood behind Chu Qingwang, her face full of vigilance as she stared at Hong Yu. Chu Qingwang laughed awkwardly, wondering what kind of trouble Hong Yu wanted to cause. Hong Yu opened his arms and asked with a flirtatious look, "Does your highness like my outfit?" Chu Qingwang said in a faint tone, "New clothes? Pretty. How much did it cost?" Hong Yu didn't expect Chu Qingwang to ask so directly. He said awkwardly, "I won a little money last night, so I just spent a little today." Then, he put on a charming look and stated that he was there to gain favor. Unimportant issues can be ignored first. Then, his eyes lit up as he stared at Chu Qingwang. "Tonight, I will serve your highness." Fu Ba's aura suddenly turned cold. He involuntarily clenched his fist. He began to contemplate what kind of death to arrange for Hong Yu. What kind of death would be best? The next second, he heard Chu Qingwang say to have Hong Yu take off his clothes. Then, he looked at Hong Yu with daggers in his eyes, wanting nothing more than to break his neck on the spot. But that would be too easy for him. Hong Yu also didn't expect Chu Qingwang to react this way. He was awkwardly at a loss. Chu Qingwang continued to say nonchalantly, "I need to check first if there are any flaws in your body, and if you are hiding any weapons on your body." Hong Yu didn't know what Chu Qingwang, what medicine is being sold in Hulu Lane. Gan Yu expressed that his heart belongs to your highness. How could he possibly hide a weapon? Chu Qingwang ignored him. She just said coldly. Hong Yu awkwardly tugged at his collar, saying he would only undress for your highness. Your highness asked Fu Ba to come out. At this time, Fu Ba was already unbearable. Before Hong Yu finished speaking, he grabbed his collar and lifted him up. "This subordinate is the master's close shadow guard. I can't leave the master for even a moment." While saying this, Fu Ba directly flung Hong Yu out. How terrifying is a jealous shadow guard? Without waiting for the master's order, he dares to take action against the favored waiting man. In a moment of impulse, he directly grabbed his collar and kicked the person out the door. But Hong Yu didn't fall to the ground. Just as he was about to touch the ground, he reached out to support himself. His body lightly flipped. After landing steadily, he angrily said, "Fu Ba, you're being presumptuous. You're so ill-mannered in front of the princess. Your highness should punish him severely." This scene was clearly seen by Chu Qingwang. Seeing it all, this Hong Yu is quite skilled. She paused. "Hong Yu, want to go have fun at a brothel? With your looks, you could easily earn a fortune in one night." Hong Yu immediately became anxious. "I am the prince's person. How could I serve others?" Then, she expressed her loyalty again. "My life belongs to the prince. My ghost belongs to the prince." Never in this lifetime. Fu Ba didn't give her a chance to finish her sentence. He immediately flashed over and struck her vital points. Before Hong Yu could react, she felt herself instantly lose strength. The next second, Fu Ba unceremoniously grabbed her and flung her far away. Hong Yu, who fell into the bushes, looked disheveled. She had only one thought in her mind. After Fu Ba threw Hong Yu, he knelt before Chu Qingwang. This subordinate acted presumptuously. "Please punish me, master." Chu Qingwang didn't make things difficult for Fu Ba. She even said that not forbidding it was the same as permitting it. But Fu Rong then thought of Chu Lingchuan. He couldn't help but ponder in his heart. Why does your highness keep him around if not as a consort? And kept that boy in the backyard? Chu Qingwang heard all these thoughts. She grabbed Wan's chin and told him, "The boy who appeared yesterday is called Chu Lingchuan. He is considered one of my men. He is good at growing herbs and managing businesses. He is very capable. The status of consort is just for convenience. You don't need to be hostile towards him. You are the only shadow guard close to me, and there won't be anyone else in the future." Chu Qingwang explained a lot in a row. Fu Ba couldn't help but blush. He is just a shadow guard. It is enough to follow orders. He didn't expect that her highness would actually explain so much to him. Outside the princess's residence, Prince Kong, Prince Qing, and Prince Rong were still waiting. The eldest princess avoided seeing them. But their rebellious sons had made a big mistake. They had no choice but to come and apologize to the eldest princess. After discussing, they decided to keep waiting. They would wait even until dawn. Chu Yi is accomplished in both military and literary arts. He is in charge of the 9 Gates Imperial Guards. The 3,000 Imperial Guards in Chu Qingwang's hands were transferred from his control. Chu Zanyi dismounted as he approached. "Father. Uncle. The eldest princess won't see you?" Prince Rong nods. "The eldest princess is already resting. We plan to wait until tomorrow morning." While Chu Zanyi pondered for a moment, he turned and walked towards the princess's residence. "I'll go try Before long, the butler informed Chu Qing Huang about Rong. But the butler, thinking that even Prince Rong and several uncles were not being seen by the eldest princess, and the king and several uncles were not seen, how could she see Chu Zan? So he said he would go back and tell Chu that the eldest princess was already resting. Unexpectedly, Chu Qing Huang suddenly spoke, telling Chu Zan Yi to wait in the study. A cold, aloof imperial guard falls in love. Obedient on the surface, but secretly indulging her. Not only did he actively lose to the eldest princess in martial arts, but also imagined a warm and ambiguous drama of a three-person world. Late at night. Are you so afraid of this princess taking revenge on the wrong prince's mansion? After Chu Zan Yi knelt down, without even raising his head, he directly stated his intention. It's to apologize for his younger brother Zan Yu, and to express that he, as an elder brother, has not done his duty well, and requests that your highness punish him. Chu Zan Yi's words were sincere, and one couldn't find any fault with him. Chu Qingwang also told him the truth. The original plan was to bring people early tomorrow morning, to search the wrong prince's mansion and the Kong County prince's mansion, and also punish them properly for plotting against me. Chu Xuanyi's expression flickered. He sincerely stated that the wrong prince's mansion had never been corrupt. Chu Qingwang waved her hand. When I search it, won't proving your innocence be enough? You can also gain a good reputation. After saying that, she told him to go back. Chu Zan knew this matter would not be easily dismissed. He immediately apologized. I was wrong. Seeing that Chu Qingwang showed no reaction and didn't ask him to leave again, he asked further. Chu Qingwang didn't beat around the bush. She directly asked Chu Xuanyi to pledge allegiance to her, and from now on, his words and actions would follow my orders. Chu Xuanyi was shocked. Chu Qingwang's meaning was very obvious. But the wrong prince's mansion serves the emperor. For 20 years, they have never participated in factional struggles, or made a wrong step. He tentatively asked, will your highness ask me to do things that go against the emperor's will in the future? Chu Qingwang said without any hesitation. To be loyal to me, you must give me your complete loyalty. Even if it means killing your father for the ruler, you must do it. But rest assured, I won't make you kill your father for the ruler. Those who are loyal to me, I will ensure the safety of their entire family. Chu Zan Yi understood immediately. Although the princess before him is only 15 years old, what she wants is that position. After a battle within, Chu Zan Yi still performed a grand salute to show his loyalty to Chu Qing Huang. I am willing to be loyal to the princess. I am willing to give my all for you, your highness. In the courtyard corridor, Hong Yu and Chu Ling Chuan brushed past each other. Chu Ling Chuan turned his head and looked at the few male consorts in the mansion, unable to help but sigh. Truly, people have different fates. Some can live leisurely with just a bit of charm, while others have to travel all over the world handling business, so busy that their feet don't touch the ground. The few male consorts looked at Chu Ling Chuan's back, beginning to guess his worth. Chu is a royal surname in Western Qi, but Chu Ling Chuan should not be a clan heir of Western Qi. Moreover, the fact that he is leaving at this time indicates that the princess trusts this person extremely. Besides the princess's mansion in the west, Qi also has other places to stay. Qi Ling suddenly had a flash of inspiration. I know who he is. The most famous red-top merchant in the Kyushu continent is named Chu. Even the business of weapons and warhorses is in their family's hands. Shen Chongjin looked serious. Could it be one of our own? Qi Ling continued. This one is probably the only son under the head of the Chu family. Shen Chongjin couldn't help but sigh. We concubines in the inner quarters are the harmony of a country. In the princess's mansion courtyard, Chu Qingwang and Fu Ba are competing. Fu Ba grabbed the whip swung by Chu Qing with his bare hands. Fu Kang suddenly remembered if he wins, Her Highness, the consequences might be. He used to refuse to give in, making Chu Qingwang torture him in every way. But now the princess's temperament has changed drastically. He willingly admits defeat to make Her Highness happy. Fu Ba silently loosened his hand on the whip. The next second, his arm was slashed by the whip. Fu Ba knelt down in front of Chu Qingwang and conceded. Your subordinate is incompetent. Her Highness wins. Chu Qing naturally knows Fu. Either his performance was off, or he deliberately let her win. She suddenly wanted to tease Fu. Then she inexplicably asks Seven a question. Can you play chess? Fu Ba is also confused. Chess? Then Chu Qing Huang says. If this palace wins against you, I'll teach you how to play chess. But if you lose to this palace, it means your martial arts are terrible. Then forget it. You should practice your kung fu first. Chu Qing Huang walks into the room while speaking. And Fu Ba has already imagined the scene of the two playing chess. He's fleshed out the whole story. In a quiet, peaceful world for two. Chu Qing Huang faces her. She's thoughtfully considering her next move. Her stunning face exudes tenderness. Fu Ba can't help but feel regret. Seeing Fu Ba still standing there, Chu Qing Huang turns her head slightly and tells him to come and help this palace change clothes. The moment she turns her head, she can't hold back her smile. But Fu Kang behind her is still completely clueless. He wants to make the prince happy. But he doesn't realize what's making Chu Qing Huang so happy. At this moment, a maid suddenly reports, saying that concubine Duan wants to invite your highness to the palace. Chu Qing Huang only feels annoyed. Have Zhao Mama wait first. This palace wants to bathe and change clothes now. Rest well before going. The maid considered that if the mother and daughter were not on good terms, people would inevitably criticize the princess. She couldn't help but advise. Chu Qingtu suddenly had an idea and asked, "Is Hong Yu in the backyard? Let him entertain Zhao Momo." The spoiled prince is burning with anger. Meanwhile, the eldest princess hid in her study, flirting with the pure and innocent shadow guard. At the eldest princess's residence. Why hasn't the eldest princess come yet? The imperial concubine Duan is still waiting at Ganlu Palace. She felt that the eldest princess was slow and indifferent, not even taking imperial concubine Duan seriously. If it weren't for her still having some use. Suddenly, a lazy voice came from the doorway. So late? Is imperial concubine Duan inviting the eldest princess to the palace for a meal? Could it be that her ladyship thinks the eldest princess is so poor that she can't afford to eat? Zhao Momo was stunned by Hong Yu in red. She had just asked, "Who are you?" when she suddenly realized that what he had just said was a bit impolite. She couldn't help but say again, "You're being presumptuous. How dare you criticize imperial concubine Duan?" Hong Yu said unhurriedly, "I'm just curious why her ladyship is calling the princess to the palace for no reason. Could it be another setup here? Is some young master planning to meet someone? That won't do. Her highness favors me the most now. I absolutely won't give others, any Tom, Dick, or Harry a chance. You're the Long Princess's male concubine. How dare something that pleases others with its looks be so presumptuous? Are you tired of living?" Hong Yu slowly sat up straight and said coquettishly, "Why are you so agitated? Be careful someone hears you." Then Hong Yu's face darkened. "I'd like to ask, how can a servant be so presumptuous? Is consort Duan's rank higher or is the Long Princess more honorable?" Meanwhile, in Chu Qingwang's study, she and Fuba were quietly playing chess. Fuba casually reported a piece of news. After the Prince of Zhenbei learned that his daughter had been killed, he will personally enter the capital in a few days. Chu Qingwang slowly placed a piece. She had a few plans in mind. This is an opportunity for her. Fuba couldn't help but ask. Fuba wants to kill someone at the drop of a hat. She patiently asked Fuba, "Why kill Bei?" Fuba also has his own views. If Prince Zhenbei dies, the emperor will definitely appoint a new general. At that time, your highness can rightfully seize the military power in the hands of the Ling family. Chu Qing smiled. That's too high a price. I don't intend to let Ziki fall into internal strife. Then, with a serious face, she told Fu Ba, "Although I act domineeringly, I will never disregard the life and death of innocent people." Fu Ba understands. "I've taken note." Chu Qingwang then asked, "Do you know why I'm so angry?" Fu Ba's hand holding the chess piece suddenly stopped. "Your subordinate doesn't know." Chu Qingwang grabbed Fu Ba's and said meaningfully, "Playing chess requires focus. If you are restless, the result will only be a crushing defeat." While saying this, she pressed Fu Ba's hand to put down the piece. After releasing Fu Ba's hand, Chu Qingwang continued to explain. "Consort Duan is my birth mother, so it's not convenient to confront her head-on. But if she makes me unhappy, I will also make her uncomfortable." Chu Qingwang's actions flattered Fu Ba. He quickly withdrew his hand. "Does your highness want consort Duan to lose her cool first?" Chu Qingwang glanced indifferently out the window.